Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes!
Welcome to the Hard Rock and Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap. March 30th.
With the players.
Come on, rise direct from hell's final path.
But hey, enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's boogie.
And that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another Thursday night edition of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock and Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday, middle of January. I can't tell you, I can't believe we're already in the middle of the first month of the year. It seems like yesterday we were celebrating New Year's Eve. But as time flies, the show flies, and we have we've had some really good shows so far, and we got a great night for you tonight. No guests. My favorite kind of shows. There's no guests tonight. There's no clock. I don't have to worry about who's coming on, who's not coming on. It's just me and my partner in crime, and a lot of sports, some music. I can't wait for the music to get back there. When you go on, I'll tell you what it's like out there. Right now on the music scene, it's Sebastian Bach going after Ace Frehley, going after Chris Jericho because they're Trump supporters. It is Kiss, Paul Stanley talking about why he has the right to do whatever he wants to do everywhere. And it is mind-numbing, nothing on Blabbermouth or any of that. There's nothing going on in the world of music. And that's sad. So let's hope we get to a better 2021 and we get some new albums and some concerts and maybe some people fighting and hitting each other with guitars and throwing drumsticks at each other. Something to get the juices flowing in the music end of the world. So we got a couple of stories tonight to talk about. And Jeff and I will talk a lot of sports. We had NFL playoffs. We got coaching changes. We got Tommy Lasorda passed away. I want to talk a little bit about Tommy Lasorda. The Nets make a big trade. While we don't do a lot of basketball here, I do want to get into this because I think it's big for overall sports. But listen, let me get Jeff on. I hope you guys have had a good week. We have I'm sorry. I booked Freddie Ordine from the band Men of Anew, something like that. Weapons of Anew. That's it. He'll be on with us next week. And let's see, Kiss Boys, Trump support. No, they're not. I don't know about Gene Lou. And Lou, by the way, our dear friend Lou Pica is recovering from the coronavirus. He's all quarantined. So we wish Lou well. But no, Lou, Paul Stanley hates him. I'm not sure about Gene. He hasn't said. I actually think Gene probably likes the guy, but who knows. But let's get Jeff on. My dad just popped up on the screen, so we'll get him on in a couple minutes, and we'll talk a little sports. And like I said, the Nets too picked up Harden. Kyrie Irving, I don't even understand it. I want to talk a little about that. We got football players who want to decide who coaches them now. it's starting to get crazy, folks. It's beyond. Let's get Jeff on. Hold on, okay? Let's bring on the Backbone of the Hard Rocket Sports Show and my dear friend of 40 years, Mr. Jeff Tomlinski. What's up?
What's up, man?
Breaking in the new computer tonight, Jeff is. Last week we tried with a different computer.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride with these computers, man. It's
so now
my third one.
So now we got a third one, and so far, no feedback, no echo on my end.
No, it's looking pretty good. I don't understand why we didn't do a test run with the second one, but it is what it is, and this one is this is the one that I kind of wanted in the first place when I returned the first one, but they didn't have it.
Okay.
So because I have the patience of a saint and couldn't wait a couple days, I was like, no, I'll take something else that's available, and ended up having some problems with it. But this one seems pretty good so far.
No, you sound good, and yes, ZZ Top is in the house. Yes. Well, Jeff,
I'm waiting for the offer to shave the beard live on the air one night, but it's got to be worth my while.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Maybe there'll be our first big event someplace.
I don't think you have that kind of money that I'm talking about, bro.
Listen,
you're not talking $500 here.
If I throw it out on the internet, we may be able to get a little GoFundMe.
I'll tell you what it is.
Tell me what it's worth. Tell me what shaving the beard is worth.
You ready?
I'm ready for the number.
You make this happen, and I'll let the beard be shaved.
Go ahead. I
got to get my truck, new tires and rims of my choice.
Okay.
And a lift kit.
Okay. What's that worth? Round numbers.
Several $1,000s.
Okay. It's definitely doable. If I throw it out there on the internet and say I got to do a GoFundMe for that.
No. Well, that's fine. However,
how I raise the money is up to me.
Not a major lift kit, but like a 3-inch lift kit, man. I've been looking at my Toyotas. I got the 4Runner. Yeah. I've been looking at 4Runners and certain modifications done to them, and with the lift kit, they look like they could drive over a house. These trucks, and I want to look like that. My wife can't get in the fucking truck as it is, so I want to get it lifted.
For your 3-minute ride to work?
Hey, listen, you don't know what you're encounter, man.
That's true.
Suppose I got to race a mountain goat or something. You don't know.
It's true. You might have to go over a bottle or a can along the way.
Yes. Earlier today, I was by your stepson's house.
Okay.
As they were installing a pole in the park across the street, so I was there.
Okay.
And when I got there, there was a truck blocking the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a little electric car, and I decided that I was just going to drive over the sidewalk and off the curb, and they all come running. I'm like, no, you're going to break it. You're going to break it. And I'm like, that's not mine. What do I care? John Collins, listen, if the money's right, anything could happen, man.
It's true. You never know. I remember when Johnny finally shaved it, man. We were
yeah, well, then, maybe that's right. Maybe I should listen to him because he had quite a beard himself and he shaved it. So he may know what he's talking about.
He does. Listen, I would trust Johnny Collins with a lot of stuff. The man has been through it. The guy's done it all. He's a master of everything as far as I'm concerned. And the new lead singer of the Hard Rocket Sports Band when we ever get back together again. But, I would take Johnny's advice for just about everything.
Yeah, well, getting some knobby tires and a front tail. Getting some nice knobby tires and stuff, and light bars everywhere. You know the deal.
Yeah, listen, I get them. You throw it out there. A couple of people throw 5s and 10s. Next thing you know, we raised a couple grand, and
I got like $300. You should do that to the Equinox, man.
Yes, that's where I'm headed for. I'm gonna take my wife's Chevy Spark. It looks it's 2 ounces of steel more than a smart car. I'm gonna lift that.
Are you serious?
You got this little toy box of a car, Chevy Spark. If you look it up.
No, you read that someplace. It has 2 ounces more. Oh, you just made that up?
Made that up as I was going.
Oh, okay. All right.
But guys, listen, we got a lot to talk about tonight. So much to do. Glad some of you guys have popped in. Johnny Collins and Louis Pica are so far in the house. There seems to be a lot of people piling up, but they're the only ones talking. And we got a lot to talk about. We got hockey stuff. The hockey starts up tonight. Basketball's going. The big net trade, which I want to get on. A lot of football tonight. We got some baseball to talk about. Tommy Lasorda passing away. I want to play a couple of Tommy Lasorda clips. And we got, it's just a one of those shows where you never know what we're going to talk about. Jeff, real quick, what was your overall impression of the 6 games of last weekend? What going to the games, just your overall impression. Was it a good weekend of football? Was it kind of a blah? Did they live up to the hype?
I think the games were pretty good, man. You'd have to refresh my memory. I don't remember everybody that played. I know this much. I got a little pissed off about the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game because when I went to bed and I had to get up early for work the next day, I shut the game off and Cleveland was winning like 28-10, 28-7. And then the next day I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? That Pittsburgh almost came back. So that actually was probably a pretty Madden-esque game, actually. But I see a lot of Steeler fans angry with that game.
Well, again, they came out, they were completely unprepared. First quarter, it's 28-0. They made a little bit of a run. Then there was a spot in the fourth quarter where, they would drive, they had put a couple drives together, and it was one of those where they should have went for it and he punted, and it kind of just backfired on them. And,
I read about that.
Yeah, bad coaching day for Tomlin. The team was completely flat. It goes back to that whole conversation about, do you rest your team the last week of the season? Do you go into do you keep playing? And they came out really flat. They made a lot of mistakes. And next thing you know, it's 28-0. And I don't care, who you are, Jeff. That's hard to come back from. And I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, man. It's not an easy to come back. And Urban Meyer looks like he's signed with the Jaguars.
Yes, that's pretty much a done deal. Only intrigue on that now is he's a former Ohio State coach. Does he favor Justin Fields to Trevor Lawrence? And now before the season started, as an analyst at Fox, he actually rated Lawrence higher. So it's going to be an interesting time. I do want to get to one. We'll get to that during the night. I wanted to bring up one little thing before I forget. Marsha Zulu, Jeff. Do you know who Marsha Zulu is?
Marsha?
Yes.
Oh yeah, John's.
Yes, that's exactly.
Zulu's wife. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, me too. But she passed away, and significant in our world. She was, obviously, co-founder of Megaforce Records. Ton of bands, including obviously. Metallica, all the stories about bringing Metallica here, and they're writing the songs inside the homes of some of the guys from the Old Bridge Militia. She passed away, 68 years old. So we wanted just to acknowledge that and wish John, somebody I've reached out to, try to get him on the show, but wish him and his family our deepest condolences. And another pioneer, so to speak, of the hard rock heavy metal world has left us.
Yeah, shame, man.
Yep. So, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. We'll get to some music later. We got plenty of sports to talk about. Lots to get to. Remember, guys, we're here every Thursday night, 7 to 10. Our good friends at RFL Records got some big stuff coming up, so make sure you pay attention to what's going on at RFL. There's a new show coming up, their own radio show, and you'll hear more about it from John Mahefker and everybody there. And our good friends at Pass the Mic. Back on Wednesday nights on the radio on their own station. No more Hard Rock Sports, but they're back on Blog Talk Radio. I was on the show last night for a little while. I got invited on. So again, lots to talk about. Let's get my dad up and let's get the show kicking.
I got to plug in. So
go ahead. Let me get my dad on. What do you got to say? There he is. What's up, Pop?
Hey guys, how you
Good,
doing?
Pop. What's going on?
Hey Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Mr. Florio?
He's plugging in his computer.
Good, Jeff.
How you feeling, Dad?
I was just curious on what your take is on this trade that the Nets made.
Oof.
What do you think of it?
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I don't like it because here's a guy who got his team to fork over big bucks in Harden. He did everything he could possibly do to get himself traded. Got traded to a team with, 2 superstars on it. Now, one of them is, a flake right now. Who knows what's going on with Kyrie Irving.
I never heard about that. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah. But the big thing for me, Dad, is the Nets, they better win in the next 2 years because they've sold their soul to the devil. They gave up 4 number 1 picks between now and 2027, and they've done 4 pick swaps, which means that every year, I think the Houston Rockets have the choice to switch picks. So let's say the Nets have the number 8 pick and they have the number 12 pick, they get to switch them. So not only do they get their number ones, 22, is it 21, 23, 25, and 27, they get the pick swap. So the Nets better win in the next year and a half before these guys all take off and go for the next contract somewhere else. So no, I don't like it from a couple of standpoints.
I find it hard to believe that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. If they win, even if they win one championship, I got to be perfectly honest, because I'm looking at it as the 3 offensive ball players.
Yep.
And I want to see them coming down. Who's taking the last shot of the game? Who wants to score? Who wants to be the leader of the team when scoring and not worried about what the other 2 guys? I mean, they make a deal that this is the. I'm listening to the radio today, the TV, and they're making it like this is the greatest 3 people player on the team. That's quite totally ridiculous.
Yes.
They're not. I don't even put them in the top 5 of 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, all time it's hard. I mean, I can give you a bunch of teams. I mean, are they better than Kareem, Magic, and Worthy? I want to go back to the 60s and the Russell and Havlicek and that crowd. So to me, no, I just yeah. I mean, again, people are short-sighted and everybody wants to do that. Here's the bigger question I'm going to ask you guys. Jeff, I'm going to ask you first. If you're a fan of the team, and I told you I'm going to sell your soul, you're going to win a championship either this year or next year. But then for the next 10 years, maybe for the next 7 to 10 years, you're going to be not bad, but historically bad. Is that worth it to make this trade, Jeff?
No, not for nothing, but New York basketball has been historically bad for like the last 15 years. So even if they came close and got into the NBA championships, there's liable to be people that are going to be happy with just that.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, if I was a Nets fan, would definitely question the trade. I mean, they also too remember one thing about Harden. I believe he's 31 years old. So, this isn't exactly a player that's in his prime. You didn't get a 25-year-old guy. And, a lot of basketball picks, aside from the number 1 pick, you never really hear about what happens to the 7th pick in the draft or, it's not like football.
Yeah.
They seem to, okay, after the first pick, it's just a massive drop-off, it seems.
Well, there's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft. I think it's only 2 rounds. So there's only 2 picks a year for each team.
Well, but I mean, listen, I'm sure there's plenty of free agents, but my point being is that the only person that really seems to matter in the NBA draft is the overall number 1 pick.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you get to the 2nd and 3rd pick,
yes, you're right.
I probably couldn't name one guy in the last draft, much less. So, who knows, that number 1 pick that they gave up may be a 7, an 8, or whatever. It may not even be a worthwhile pick.
No, I agree, but again, listen, you run to that thing if they get historically bad and they have 4 or 5 years of top 5 choices, you're still giving away a good player. But that to me, first thing I said was no way I would sell my soul. Then I said I remember saying with the Giants, people say, well, they won two Super Bowls, but they were terrible, and I would say, hey, if I knew that my team could win 2 Super Bowls in 10 years. And in between, I'd be historically bad, I would take it. So I can't be a hypocrite now. Dad, how do you feel about it?
Well, I understand what you're saying. And what I find out, if you look in any sport, and it seems like most sports, the bigger the superstars, the harder it is for the team to win.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Sure.
Because you got a lot of...
It's like an all-star team.
Yeah. Durant is not as known as a Michael Jordan defense. And Harden is, that guy's like cornflakes. Pour a little milk on him and he goes soggy.
Yeah.
Something wrong with him.
Kyrie Irving,
And Harden is give me the ball and I'll shoot.
Well, that's kind of the problem is that Harden's game doesn't match. First off, I'm not a big Net fan, but, listening seems to be their biggest problem is defense and especially defensive rebounding. And you certainly didn't get better that way. The 2 guys they got rid of were actually their diggers, the guys who go out and rebound and play hard. And, so listen, they may end up being the best team in the East by far. I'm not really sure how it'll work out, but I really, here's the thing. I'll ask you guys this again, Jeff. If you had the chance to be, let's look at the Yankees the last 20 years. They've won one World Series, but they haven't had a losing season in 28 years.
No, but you know what?
Is that better being consistent and not necessarily winning championships, or going for broke, winning the championships and then having down years? What's better?
I don't know. It's hard to say because the Yankees are a bad example simply because everybody expects them to win a championship every year in and year out. And year in and year out, they always lack something.
Yeah.
Pitching or whatever it is. So even though they've had a winning record, when it gets time for playoff time, everybody knows that they're not going to do nothing anyway.
Right, but
you know what I mean?
But they're winning. They're averaging like 90 wins a year. So every year they're in it. Let's put it this way. Look at the Miami Marlins. Every 10 years, the Miami Marlins will win a World Series. They've probably won 2 in the last 15 or 18 years, more than the Yankees. But they're historically bad the other years. So I don't know, guys. Is it better that my team every year is consistently good, but not necessarily a championship team? Or would I rather be a championship team, 2 or 3 times in 20 years, and the rest of the time be historically bad? Dad, which way do you lean on that?
Well, let's put it this way. It's like setting, if you want your team to be consistent, and you don't expect them to win, it ain't like the old days where you can guarantee a win.
Sure.
But you want them to be contender. So you don't want to turn on a ball game and they're down 8-0 in the third inning. So you want them to play good. You expect them to be just like the Yankees have in the last 10, 15, whatever it is years. You want them to be contenders.
Yeah.
You don't want them to come August, they're out of the game. They're not even in the playoff. They ain't got a shot.
Exactly.
So I would rather have a team that's consistent and wins now and then, okay, than to be like the Miami Marlins and win, and then next year you're lucky if you win 50 games.
Jeff, you brought up a good point today with the Steelers. I mean, that's kind of the Steelers the last few years. Is they're every year they have a winning record or a non-losing record. They're hovering around the playoffs every year, but they don't really put it away. And you said today that you would take their coach because he makes them consistent. Is that a good comparison here?
Well, it's also me being a Jet fan. Like I understand the question you're asking me, and it's kind of given 2 different answers comparing the Yankees to the Jets. But when you're a Jet fan and some of the shit that's happened with that team just this season alone would make you take anybody that'll win games and at least give you the illusion that your team is ready to go and to contend. The Yankees, I guess they show that kind of illusion too, because every year it's the same thing. If the Yankees get a pitcher, they're going to win the World Series. They're going to kill everybody with runs. They're going to be able to hit 200-300 home runs a year. And they do. But then the pitching breaks down, and every year in the playoffs, it seems to happen. Like they make it and then they just fucking fall off the face of the earth and nothing happens. But with the Jets, it's a different story. It's a bad comparison only because the Yankees are just always in it to win it. I mean, they're always one of the top teams mentioned.
Yeah.
The Jets are just always one of the top 5 draft picks.
Well, think about it from that perspective, Jeff, and let's use the Jets. When I look at the Yankees, like my dad said, these come September and August and September, I can watch Yankee games. They're fighting for first place, or they're in first place. And yes, they may disappoint at the end, but there's a lot of teams out there that haven't won championships ever, or it's been 40 and 50 years. So at this point, if you ask me with a gun to my head, I would tell you I would rather my team be consistently good every year and fall short of the championship, because the other is, and we've been through it. I mean, we've both been through it the last few years with our football teams. You're in October and the season's over already.
Well, unless you're a Jet fan and it's over like in the 3rd week of September, but that's another story.
That's a whole different story. Yeah, Pop, it's a tough one, but I would take the consistency over the championships if you ask me.
I agree, and I'll be very. I gotta be honest with you. I'll be very shocked if the Nets wind up really becoming contenders. because I understand the league's not
Yeah.
too much offense now.
Yeah.
It's not a defense
No.
league, so they got a shot at it. But you're gonna. How do you play basketball? Score 130 points and lose the game 145.
Yeah,
That's what's going to wind up happening.
Funny you should say that.
You have to.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked. But see what happens, man.
Yeah.
You can never tell. Chemistry my way. All right, I'm going to wish you guys good luck tonight.
Thanks, Pops.
And
Thank you.
I'll talk to you over the weekend.
You
buddy.
got it, Pops. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Feel better.
All right, Jeff, I'll pay so you shave that beard, Jeff.
The money's got to be there. I got to get money in hand first.
$2 towards it. $2.
There you go. See, the first $2 has been raised.
Tired man, Jeff. That's all I can afford.
Pops, feel better, Pops. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, I will. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's my dad.
See you
Check.
later, Mr. Porter.
So you were going to say, Jeff? What were you going to say?
Almost that exact quote was in the paper today about the New York, the Brooklyn Nets, which was they're now capable of scoring 150 points a game, but also capable of giving up 150 points a game. So maybe what they did, they got all of this offensive firepower, but nobody to stop it. So they may end up putting up record amounts of points between two teams because of this. You just never know. Is it possible that one day they play a game and it goes into a couple overtimes and they score close to 200 points?
Nothing would surprise me. Listen, if those three guys are on the court together, and it's still going to be questionable how much those guys are going to be on the court at the same time. You're talking about three of the best offensive players in the game. Durant's playing great basketball right now. Harden's capable of scoring 50 on any night. And Irving's a great player. He's he's a nut. And I'm going to get to Irving in a minute and what's going on with him. But, again, Jeff, I can understand it in today's day and age. See, what happens in basketball, you get these superstars. They all get on the same team for 2 or 3 years. They try to win a championship, and then they're going to go to the next place because you've blown up the cap where you were. So now you're going to go to the next place and go and play with the next superstars. Each of these guys are on their. I think Irving's on his 4th team. Boston, the Nets, and Cleveland. I think Harden's at least on his 2nd or 3rd team. Durant's on his 3rd team. So I understand the thought process: go all in, try to win it, and then you blow it up and you try to start all over again. And yes, the Islanders. I got it on the screen here. Oh, shit. Okay, but anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
There seems to be no loyalty now.
No.
At least when LeBron left, he left Cleveland. He went to Miami. He was there for a number of years with the same guys. Mm-hmm. They won a couple championships, and then he went right back to Cleveland. So I'm not saying that he's the greatest example, so please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at least he showed a little bit of loyalty. For the longest time, he was only with 2 teams. Yeah. But these guys now, it's like, hey, I'm going to come there next year. And they have it mapped out.
Well, it's like, what happens, Jeff, in the off season, these guys all get together, they go partying, they go on vacations, and they go, I want to play with you next year. I want to get together with you and play. We're going to play on the same team. And that's how this happens. James Harden decided he was going to go not play for the Rockets, and he was going to wind up with the Nets, and that's where he wound up. He forced his way over to the Nets. That's where he plays.
Amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
And it's part of the reason why I don't like basketball anymore. Is that the player? Listen, I understand how important the players are to the game in any sport, but I also say they have no risk, especially in these sports where the money's guaranteed like this. Football, you can at least say, hey, you force yourself into a bigger contract because it's not guaranteed. So I almost understand it, but we're getting it in football now. But let's stay in basketball for a minute. Kyrie Irving forces this whole situation. Shows up finally after missing most of last year, plays 4 or 5 games, and then takes a night off, comes back, plays a game or 2, and disappears. Doesn't tell the coach, doesn't tell the organization, texts one of his teammates to say, I'm not showing up. And unless they know, has not told anybody why. There's rumors. He got upset at the Capitol riots. He got upset because of the Wisconsin, the cops who killed the girls, the people in the guy in Wisconsin, the cops got off with nothing. dude, wake up. We all got to go to work. Here's a guy he's not, but could be getting fined $460,000 a game. That's what he gets paid, and he can't show up for work.
It's amazing because I often think about my job, and not to get into specifics, something happened today and some guy came up to me and gave me shit when I didn't think he was should have or supposed to.
Right.
But it ends up, it is what it is, and I was like, for a minute, he was like, oh, maybe you need to get written up, me and this other guy. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to write up for this? Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. But the point is, it's like right away. Then as soon as he left, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't need this kind of bullshit and aggravation. But this guy here, if you're worried about these rights that happen or these things that happen in life, and you're just, I'm going to stay out. I'm not going to contact nobody else. I'll send this guy a text. I'll send the water boy a text. Be like, oh, I'm upset over this. Like, are you kidding me? I'm upset over something every fucking day that I can stay home from work.
Exactly. That's why I have no respect for those guys. And then on top of it, he's all upset he can't play, but he's at a party. I don't know where the party was for his sister and father to celebrate their birthdays. He's on camera. Now, first off, who's the guy who took the video that's in his friends or family and then put it up on the internet? But there he is partying, no mask, hanging out, smiling, laughing. Yet he can't show up and play basketball with his team. This is why I can't watch professional basketball. I've been kind of keeping an eye on it because, it's basketball season. I watch a little bit of the Knicks, and just to kind of keep up on it. But it makes you sick to your stomach, Jeff. And it's starting to bleed into other sports, which we'll get to next. But if you're the Nets, like people are so scared nowadays, and that's the culture we've turned this into. Is you can't reprimand the guy because, well, he's black, so you can't reprimand him because he could be depressed over the situation in the country.
Unbelievable that they come up with these excuses and are allowed to get away with the use of them. Something happens, a family member gets sick or dies or whatever, you're upset. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. You got problems at home with your wife. You found out your wife is banging the pool boy and the mailman and the gardener and your friend. So, yeah, I could see that you're having problems at home. But these guys here probably never met that girl and is just using it. You know what? I just don't feel like going in today. I feel upset over this. I can't think. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Jeff, listen, if that's the way you feel and you want to get out there and you want to right the wrongs of the world, hey, God bless you. Retire or take a step back. I'm taking the season off and I'm going to go out there and fight for social justice. Hey, listen, I respect that. I think that would be fantastic if guys like Kyrie Irving did that. Not being stupid about it. I'm dead serious. I think if you feel that strongly about the way the country is, whether you like it, dislike it, get out there, do your thing, put your money where your mouth is, and go out there and do something to change it. I support that guy a million times. But you don't like anything, you don't show up. You show up at a birthday party and you can't play basketball. I mean, really, seriously.
Listen, the whole entire thing, the whole situation is just it's stupid and it sucks and everything else. And just be an adult. Just be an adult. Okay, like a lot of these people, they use certain aspects of life to complain, and you're saying that these guys should maybe, all right, you want to take a year off, and people have been posting politics for going on 5 years now or whatever it is. From when Donald Trump said he was going to run for president, and people have been posting political things, and guess what? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Now we've had several instances of violence, racial violence. We've had several instances of political violence. We've had several instances of every kind of problem you could think of. Nothing has changed. So the people that have been complaining about it year round and everything else for 4 years, you complain, you change nothing. You change nothing. Everything continued to go forward. We woke up today. We'll go to bed tonight. Hopefully we'll wake up tomorrow. And that's it. That's it. It's unbelievable. You're not going to change it. You're not going to change it.
No, again, I think that things need to change or whatever. I don't have the energy for it. So I have to be honest with you. I went from 100 miles an hour watching nothing but political shows and news organizations and reading the front of the newspaper for the last month, 3 weeks. I've avoided it I really could care less. Nobody gives a shit. I'm gonna take a break, and
Well, listen, I didn't mean to bring it up to get on that. I'm just using it as an example because everybody went mental on, and not for nothing. It all seems to have started with Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the flag, Donald Trump announcing he's going to run for president, and then the people just took the ball with this, and just everybody tried to outdo somebody else and complained, and it was just unbelievable. But meanwhile, the overall picture, nothing has changed. Nothing changes, but we're going to change the subject. We're going to move on to some other stuff. But Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom here, having a good time on a Thursday night with you. Hope you guys are enjoying the unseasonable weather so far this year. You know, we've had a nice balmy winter, so to speak. It's coming. Don't worry. The ice cold bomb will be dropped any day soon now. But for now, yeah. What did you hear?
No, nothing. It's inevitable. I mean, it happens every year. We get at least 1 or 2 weeks where we get that really bad weather. The weather for the next 2 weeks looks like it's in the 40s, and I think one day next week it's in the 50s. So
yeah, wonderful.
I'm
looking at the weather now. All in the 40s, 44. Oh, next Saturday the 23rd, 38.
Yeah.
Next Saturday the Sunday the 24th, 36. And it gets into the 30s, but of course, because my wife is going upstate to go see her mom, of course the temperature will drop into the fucking 30s as the high, and I won't be able to really do much. So not that I'm going to do much anyway, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. But, listen, guys, you can get out there, enjoy your life, and just do what you can. But we're going to enjoy ourselves here tonight. We're talking a little basketball, and I want to transition, but I want to stay on the same type of subject, Jeff. And a couple of guys this week in the NFL, players, kind of made it, especially Deshaun Watson. But now Russell Wilson wants a say in who his offensive coordinator is. And, it's it's a slippery slope for me. Now, while I understand players want to succeed, and then maybe they want to say in who they work with. That might not be you might not be the guy that guy gets to work with forever. And two, if you pick wrong and the franchise takes a nosedive, are you kicking any cash up for it? So before Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, want their say, I just want to know if they make a wrong choice, are they going to kick in the money to pay it, Jeff? What do you think?
Well, they very well should. Yeah, I agree with you, what you're saying. But I will say this much. I don't understand what right Deshaun Watson has.
None.
Russell Wilson, I may sit and entertain Russell Wilson. The guy has a Super Bowl championship. The guy's been a successful quarterback in the NFL now for almost 10 years or over 10 years, whatever it is. I know he's closing in on 10 years playing. But I would listen. I would give Russell Wilson the respect and listen to what he has to say at the very least. But Deshaun Watson would be like, what are you in the league 3-4 years? And what is it that I don't understand this. You know what I mean?
Again, if you told me, hey, Russell, we got it down to these couple of guys, we'd like you to sit with them and kind of talk philosophy, and we want to get your opinion. Hey, I understand that. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, if you ask me, I like this guy, and they leaves the room and go, okay, we're going to pick the other guy, or we're picking that guy. I don't. But what you're getting to is, I want to pick the coach. Hey, I want to pick and here's where that's really wrong. Let's say Deshaun Watson's able to pick the next coach, and the next coach is his guy. So now, that guy's going to stay with Deshaun Watson because he owes him, because he's his guy, instead of making coaching changes or making moves or recommending new players based on that. That's a slippery slope that I hope no team in this league goes down. There's no way in the world there's a player in this league, I don't care who it is, should have the right to say who's the coach, or should be allowed to make that decision, Jeff.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Just the thought of it, like, suppose Deshaun Watson, for example, has a hand in picking a guy, which he may end up actually getting traded because of this, which is insane.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's just say that they listen to him and they take a guy, and then Deshaun Watson sucks. He can't throw the ball 5 yards anymore, like you said. But you would like to think that the coach himself is going to turn around and say, you know what, this isn't working out. I can't use this guy. We got to move on. We got to this. We got to that. But yeah, you're right. It makes very different, very dangerous. But the NFL has empowered the quarterback and the quarterback position
Yes.
that this will happen. You know, the quarterback, it all started with Eli, are you an elite quarterback? And that question. And then they made the upper echelon of quarterbacks. And now it's getting to the point where somebody that hasn't even probably made the playoffs, would Deshaun Watson make the playoffs once or twice in his career?
Yeah.
And you're trying to, you know, have a say in the hirings of who's going to run the team. What's next? No, I don't want him to buy the team. I want him to buy the team.
Yeah, that's where it's headed. Yeah, that's where
Fuck
it's
out
headed.
of here.
Yeah. Now, you brought up a great point. You know, he may be getting himself run out of town because of this, but how funny is this whole situation? So here's the Dolphins make a big deal to go get two of that last year's draft at this point, and they get him in. He has some success, and now there's a lot of rumblings out of there that they just don't think he might be the guy. Now it's only 1 year. The guy's coming off of a major injury in college. And 1 year, and this team's already talking about making a move for either, an already quarterback like Deshaun Watson, and the fact that the Texans are now willing to even think about trading him there. It's a crazy situation, Jeff. I don't know how you. And hey, Sam Bone, how you doing, Sam? I don't know how you think about it, but the Dolphins. I mean, I wasn't a big Tua fan. I don't think either one of us was coming out for this whole thing, but I think this is whole crazy.
Well, I think this, to be honest with you, if I'm fucking Joe Douglas, I'm getting on the fucking horn and making calls behind everybody's back. And I'm not getting off the phone until I get Deshaun Watson as the New York Jet quarterback, because I would turn around and say, listen, I'll switch number one picks with you this year and give you both of Seattle's picks. Then if they say no to that, say I'll give you my number one and both Seattle picks. And just that 3 number 1 picks alone ought to have to get the job done.
But here's the thing, though: is he worth? I mean, I agree with you.
I know what you're going to say, but 2 of those picks are not even Jet picks.
No, I got it. And again, if you switched picks, so they got the number 2 pick, and then they get able to take a quarterback if they wanted to. You still wind up with a top 10 pick if you're the Jets, and they
throw in Sam Darnold too. Fuck it.
Whatever. I'm just saying that you got to hold on to your number 1 pick, but. Again, I agree with you that Deshaun Watson's an upgrade over what you have at quarterback or what you could probably draft at quarterback. I'm not even going to argue.
Let me ask you this. I understand everything you're saying, and that's the way you look at it, and that's great. Let's just say, okay, that the Jets could end up getting Deshaun Watson, okay, and lose both number 1 picks from Seattle and their number 1 pick this year. Okay, as an NFL franchise, especially the New York Jets, you don't make that fucking deal.
I got to be honest, 3 number 1s. Here's the thing. Here's what you'd have to do.
But you're only giving up your number 1.
Correct.
The Seattle number 1s. Essentially, you gave up Jamal Adams and a number 1 for Deshaun Watson.
I'm not even worried about the 2 Seattle picks. I agree with you. I'm not worried about the Seattle picks. Screw it. I'd be happy to give those picks up and swap. But giving up your number 1, I think it sets you back. And here's the thing for me.
Why? If you're getting Deshaun Watson, you're getting a proven NFL quarterback, somebody that just drew over 5,000 yards.
Yeah. I got it. But you said it. You even said it to start this whole thing. What has he really done other than that? He's had a team that's won division titles. They can't win a playoff game. They've had one of the best defenses in the league, and they can't get past that. I'm not blaming Deshaun Watson, but I also don't think that he's necessarily the guy who's going to take you to the next level unless you surround him with a team and you're giving away your number 1 pick. How are you giving him that team around him?
Well, because if say the Jets take that number 1 pick, right? And they turn around and they pick a quarterback. You're now taking a kid out of college that you don't know how he's going to acclimate and do it at the pro level. That's one thing. Okay. You know what you got in Deshaun Watson. Plus, he's still young. You could get him for another 10 years easily, if not more. Okay. So that's one thing. And it will cost you a number 1 pick, which you're going to make anyhow. Now, there's talk of them staying with Sam Darnold. You're going to tell me that it ain't worth getting rid of fucking both Seattle picks, which turns out to be Jamal Adams, and switch up picks or whatever it is, give up your pick for Deshaun Watson and Sam Darnold. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Again, swap.
You're going to tell me you're not getting a top 10 quarterback, top 10 NFL quarterback by making that trade.
Wow.
If not a top 5.
He's not top 5. He's certainly
I'll prove to you that he's a top 5.
All right, give me the guys.
At the end of this year, Breeze, Rivers, Roethlisberger all retire. Brady takes a major drop. Okay, that's 4 people right there that got to come off the draft.
40 touchdowns is in the second round. Is in the second round of the playoffs. I don't know if he takes a major drop, so I got to go by what I think right now. So Brady's still better than Deshaun Watson right now.
Right now,
yes,
but I'm talking next year.
I don't know what's going to be next year. Deshaun Watson can break.
Guy's 43, 44 years old. Sooner or later, he's just going to hit the ground running.
I agree.
Just hit the ground. That's
100%. Go ahead.
And so you take 4 guys right off the top.
Okay.
Of the top 10 list. Jeff Goff is not the same. He's got a thumb injury.
Nope.
They're playing him. You don't know what's going to happen. Baker Mayfield isn't doing anything. Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback. He's not really doing nothing much with his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sam Darnold isn't the answer. I think that Deshaun Watson is going to be in the next up-and-coming group. And next year at this time, I'm telling you, watch. He's a top 5 quarterback.
Well, again, he may be top 5 and based on
Bridgewater, Cam Newton, gone out.
But again, he may be top 5. Let's say he's top 10. I'm not putting him top 5. I'll give you 5 guys ahead of him. But he may be there out of the fact that there's no other good quarterbacks. Doesn't mean he's a good quarterback. Again, back to my normal, he's the tallest midget in the circus. Who cares? So to me, I'll take Burrow over him. I'll take Russell Wilson over him. I have 2 guys right up.
First of all, Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't even count Burrow.
Why?
Because the guy got hurt at the end of the year. He's not going to come back until the end of next season.
No,
matter of fact,
mm-hmm.
I already heard or read. I can't remember where I heard it or read it. That somebody already said they should just shut down Burrow for the end of this for next season period. Don't even bring him back because by the time he rehabs and everything else, it's going to be late in the season. What are you going to do? Bring him back for a team that may be out of the race and everything by October?
Well, I guess you have to see how that plays out. But again, he may be top 10. He might. Again, listen.
Give me 5 better. Give me your top 10. Let's see where you got him.
First off, off the top of my head, I still want Burrow. I still want Burrow.
You can put whoever you want.
I still want Brady. I want Russell Wilson. I'll take Justin Herbert out in San Diego. Right off the top of my head, those 4 guys for sure. I take over him. Let's see now. Let's get to the next level of guys. Let's see. Okay, if I right now, I still take Matt Ryan over him in a heartbeat. Matt Ryan's still a better quarterback than he is.
You're pushing it now.
No. Matt Ryan's still a better quarterback. I'm not a fan of Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than he is.
You're pushing it.
Okay, so there's a bunch of guys right there.
Matt Ryan is throwing to Julio Jones and fucking that other kid.
All I can tell you is
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson doesn't have anybody.
That's not true. Up until this year, he had probably the best receiver in football in DeAndre Hopkins, and again, he still couldn't win a playoff game. So
they're dumb. There's 31 guys a year that cannot win a
I'm not doing the Super Bowl. Just go in there.
And how many of that 31 can't even get into playoffs, much less win a playoff game?
I'm not disagreeing. Again, I'm not telling you that if I was the Jets and I had the opportunity to get him, I would do it. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just not giving up all that firepower because the guy's proven he can't
win. What firepower? The Jets have already proven that they can't fucking pick their nose. You would think that they're going to hit big on all of these number ones.
So then why give up? But then why give up everything to drafting to bring in a guy and not give him any weapons? That's
because you gave up Jamal Adams. Okay, you didn't make these picks. The Seattle pick this year is what, 23 or something like that?
Give them those. I'm all for it. And
the Jet pick, whoever they pick at number 2, okay, is not going to be a help to this team for next year, and you know it.
Why?
Because who are they going to get?
Well, if you trade here's what I'll tell you. So if I were the Jets and they make the trade and they got Lots and they get to keep their number 2, let's say they find a way to keep their number 2. I'm taking the kid offensive lineman. You can take him. There's the linebacker out of Penn.
If the Jets pick an offensive lineman, I'm telling you right now, you thought what happened at the Capitol building last week was bad? That'll be fucking MetLife Stadium.
No, I disagree, Jeff. Because
I'm telling you, dude, I'm a Jeff fan.
No, I got it. But if they bring in Deshaun Watson, you've taken the pressure off. Now, if I were the Jets, could I maybe take Devonta Smith? I know it's a little too high, but that guy's a great player. There's some plays that you could take to give Watson a guy to throw to. So again, I'm very reluctant to give up my number one or without swapping it with Texans. So if you're giving Texans the number 2 pick in the draft plus 2 number ones, and if you got to sprinkle in a little fairy dust, you do it, and you wind up with Deshaun Watson, a guy that they want to get rid of anyway.
So what does that have? The guy could play. It's not like this guy sucks.
No,
it's not like he's a horrible quarterback.
No,
you've been in quarterback hell for 50 fucking years.
I got it.
50 years.
I got it, but you got to still give him something to work with. And if you're going to give away the store, what's the guy going to work with?
Because they still have a ton of picks. And if Joe knows what he's doing, he can fucking parlay some of those picks, move up, do what he's got to do, and you can maybe recoup a second rounder or something like that. There's ways to do these things, dude.
No, I got it. I get it. And
let's put it this way. Put it this way. The Jets are picking second this year, okay?
Okay.
Now, barring anything major league stupid, like they fucking write down punter on the card when they hand it to the commissioner or something stupid like that, okay? They should get a decent pick, okay? But we can't say for sure. We know that already. We can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But you do know that the Jets have sucked in drafting and have not picked a lot of good players later on in the draft. They've proven that time and time again. And the Seattle picks are going to be already, one is 23. We don't know where they're going to finish next year. So we can't even comment on that. But you know that it's going to be somewhere in the 20s. So if you could give up those 2 picks to help your cause, okay, and swap number ones, or even if you give them the number 1, you still were not going to get a player of Deshaun Watson's caliber to help that team next year in 2021. It's not happening.
No, again, I'd be happy to give them the Seahawk picks. I'm happy to flip draft picks with them. Again, sprinkle of fairy dust. I'll give them a number 2 or a number 3. I'll give him something else on top of it. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly.
Joe Douglas has about 17 6-rounders. Give him a couple of those.
Yeah, again, I'm all for it. And then you get Deshaun Watson. Well, I don't think Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. He's a significant upgrade over what you have. But I also think that he's a guy who needs to be surrounded with a little bit of talent. And right now, you
already proved that he doesn't have that much talent this year.
Right. And look what happened.
But he threw for 5,000 yards.
And the team didn't even come near making the playoffs. So
what? Neither did the Jets, but they won twice as many games as the Jets did.
Yeah. Again, I would.
And the Jets have $70-something million under the cap. They could go out and buy people.
Make the trade tomorrow. I would do it tomorrow in a heartbeat. I would not sell my soul to get it.
See, but I know what it is. What it is.
Good.
This is why. And you know where we're going with this.
I have no idea where you're going.
Hold on.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hold on. Okay.
Here we go.
This is why your team is bad.
My team.
You're afraid to get rid of people. You don't want to get rid of a general manager of yours. You want to keep that quarterback that ain't throwing shit in 2 years. So this is why you're good. I'm glad you love him. And you're going to be stuck with him. And that's what's going to happen is the Jets are going to end up bypassing and taking back the back page of the paper, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You already have the back page of the paper. Suck your team in the city. It's easy. You guys get it every week.
It's okay. As long as you don't have it. As long as the Giants don't have it, I don't give a fuck what it says. I don't care what it says.
I got you.
I don't care what it says.
Hard Rocket Sports. Hey, Joe Flynn, Jeff and Tom, we're talking a little bit of sports here. It doesn't surprise you, though, that the Dolphins have supposedly, I haven't heard the Dolphins say it, but the rumors are flying around that the Dolphins are not high on Tua. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, I am surprised. I am, but I'm not, because it's let's face it. We drafted this guy. Well, he didn't lead the league in quarterbacking, and he didn't throw for 9,000 yards, and he didn't get us to the Super Bowl by week 3, so he's no good. You're not even –
Yeah,
I understand. Let's rush him along to see where he stands. We have a high pick. Let's see what we could get for him and where we stand. But he didn't even give the kid a chance.
No.
Didn't even give him a chance.
No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is, and I think it's
Then you took him out when you needed him to do certain things. You took him out of the game.
Yeah.
You just like, listen, forget it. You're done here. You're done here. Yeah, but it's only to my first. You're done. You're done. Fuck you. It's unbelievable.
No, I agree. Listen, 100%. Listen, we got a lot of football to get to. We're gonna get to the playoffs right now, but I want to sneak in a little Tommy Lasorda, Jeff, because first off, he's an Italian guy, and Tommy Lasorda is just one of those characters in baseball that we'll never see again. Just that short, pudgy manager running around on the field, didn't have much of a career, but managed to stick around forever as a manager, Hall of Famer. And Tommy passed away at 90-something years old. He was 90 or 93. I'm not really sure. But I want to play a couple of clips, a couple of things that I always thought were very funny Tommy Lasorda moments, just to kind of make sure we acknowledge it. So bear with me a second. Let me bring in a little share screen here. And there was a day back in 1978 where Dave Kingman, Jeff, your man Dave Kingman, hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers and beat them. And after the game, Tommy Lasorda was asked his opinion on that. So I want to play that for you so we have a little fun with it. Hold on. Let's see.
What's your opinion of Kingman's performance? What's my opinion of Kingman's performance? What the fuck you think is my opinion of it? I think it was fucking horseshit. Put that in. I don't fucking opinion of his performance. Jesus Christ, he beat us with 3 fucking home runs. What the fuck do you mean? What is my opinion of his performance? How can you ask me a question like that? What is my opinion of his performance? Jesus Christ, he hit 3 home runs. Jesus Christ. I'm fucking pissed off to lose a fucking game. And you ask me my opinion of his performance. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a tough question to ask me, isn't it? What is my opinion of his performance? Yes, it is. I asked it, and you gave me an answer. Well, I didn't give you a good answer because I'm mad, but I mean, that wasn't a good question. That's a tough question to ask me right now. What is my opinion of his performance? I mean, you want me to tell you what my opinion of his performance is? You just did. That's right. Jesus Christ. The guy hits 3 home runs against us. Shit. I mean, I don't mean to get pissed off or anything like that, but, you asked me my opinion. I mean, he put on a hell of a show. He hit 3 home runs. He drove in, what, 7 runs? 8 runs?
Now, Jeff, I got to tell you, what I told him before, I said to myself, you'll never hear stuff like that nowadays. Like, you could never, ever hear a manager have that post-game press conference now. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. First of all, he'd probably get fired for cursing. It will be all over Twitter. You would never even hear about it before it gets in the paper. But, those guys, all older guys, man, it was a different situation back then. The baseball world was completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Completely different. And listen, my biggest memory of Tommy Lasorda was the World Series against the Yankees with Reggie Jackson between first and second base and the infamous hip shot. And Tommy Lasorda fucking bugging the fuck out.
I got it right here for you, Jeff, as you speak. I got it right here.
Oh, I could watch this all day long, man. This is great stuff.
Against Tommy John. And with 1 out, here's the most talked about play of the series. It's a perfect double play ball, except that Reggie sticks his hip in the way. The run scores, and I'm screaming for an interference call. He's got it away in the goal. He's got to get out of the way. He's got it away in the goal. He's got to get out of the way. He called Reggie out a second. Right. He got to get out of the way. He got to get in the way. He stood right in the way. First of all, the ball's a line drive, right? Yeah. Okay, if the guy picks up the ball, he thinks Russell's going to catch the ball. Now he starts heading back towards first. And Billy throws the ball first. I mean, what do you want? He was standing there.
You gotta love it, Jeff. I mean, I knew you were going to say it. I've heard you say it before, and I said I got to find that clip. I think it's Jeff's favorite.
Dude, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in baseball. Let me ask you something. And here's a question that you probably never heard or were never asked before. That same play happens in Los Angeles. Does Reggie Jackson get out of that stadium alive?
Yeah. You know the funny part of it? Nobody ever brings up the fact that if you watch the shortstop, he purposely drops the line drive, which isn't illegal, but he purposely drops the line drive to turn it into a double play. And then that play happens. And that cost them the game, or a good part of the game, because the run scores, what's his name? Pinella moves up, gets on base. So that was actually a bad play by Russell, the shortstop, but it turns into one of the funniest plays and one of those plays that I'll always remember. I watched it live. I remember watching it.
Yeah, of course. I remember watching it live and my mother and father flipping out because it happened. Yeah. And it was fucking hysterical, man. And I thought it was funny as shit when that happened. It really was some great moment, man.
I agree. I think it's one of those moments in baseball and in sports that you just won't ever see again.
Watching Steve Garvey's face at the other end at first base, like he just bugging out, and you bring up about them dropping the line drive. I remember Craig Nettles doing that against the Blue Jays, I believe it was.
Oh, really?
It was a high fly, but they didn't call the infield fly rule, but it was a high fly. He went to go get it, and he let the ball drop, and then he fired to second base and got a double play out of it because he was right underneath it. Everybody thought that he, was just going to catch it.
Yeah.
And he let it drop, but he was lucky that when it dropped, it came back up. He threw fire to second off the first double play. So, I have seen people do it before in the past, but risky.
Oh, absolutely. But, if just listen, a funny circumstance, a terrific manager, guy who he won 2 World Series. Dedicated so much of his life to the game of baseball, right until I think he was in the 70s or 80s, still coaching the American team in the World Baseball Classic. So a great ambassador for the game, but just one of those characters that you're just never going to see again. It just doesn't. It won't exist ever again.
No, there's very few players now, very few managers, I should say, that I remember as a player growing up, like when I was a kid, because I remember my father watching baseball with my father for a while when I was a kid, and he'd be like, I remember when this guy managed, I remember when this guy played, and I don't even recognize the names like that, from guys. Like, I thought there would have been more of them in the major leagues, like Willie Randolph. He was Met manager for a while, and then that was it. Like his career, that was it. He was done. Just Bucky Dent, done.
Yeah, it's hard, Jeff. Once you reach that level, you don't do well, people don't want to recycle you back because they think you don't have the opportunity to do it again. And they reach a certain age that where just it's a young man's game, and next thing you know, you have this new crop of players who turn into coaches, and I guess
I understand that, but it's just certain ones like you would think some of the bigger names.
Oh, yeah.
Like Reggie Jackson never became a coach, never became a manager.
Nope.
Like, did you ever think that maybe, all right, Lou Piniella did it, but like Mickey Rivers, with Mickey Rivers, maybe he would have been like the prototypical manager for a short time. You don't know, like some of these other names, like Lee Mazzilli. Lee Mazzilli did manage, didn't he?
Mazzilli coached. I don't know if he ever got a job as a manager. I don't think he ever got I don't think he ever got a manager job.
I just, just wonder like why these guys never pursued it or didn't care and just did whatever the case is. Who knows?
Well, you know what? Some guys, Jeff, if you look at it, it's always the guy who wasn't a great player. Look at Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Lasorda, his claim to fame as a ball player was he was sent down so the Dodgers could bring up Sandy Koufax.
Oh, wow.
I think he played 10 games in the pros. I think he pitched 1 game for the Dodgers back in the 60s. Or 50s, and then went back into minors, hooked up with some guy, and that guy got him into coaching, and the next thing you know, he became Dodgers manager for 30 years. So, I always say the big name players don't really pay attention to the game. They go out, they play. To me, the biggest names very rarely turn to be great managers. Now, Don Mattingly's having a chance to become a great manager. But I don't know if people consider him a great player. I do. But a lot of guys, never worked out for them. Just even look at Yogi. Yogi's one of the better players. 10 World Series rings. Yogi was not a great manager. Great coach, but not a great manager.
Listen, he wasn't exactly the smartest guy. It seems.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I would think that to be a coach is one thing. To be a manager, you're going to need some gray matter. You know.
Yeah, again, that's a great point, and you know there aren't a lot of the superstar players who put that time and effort to learn the game. You know, listen, a lot of guys play baseball, won't learn the game, and it's the guy who might not be in every game, who might not play every week, who might be sitting on the bench next to the coach and learn the game and learn why you make a substitution and why you change pitchers and why you double switch in a certain situation. You know, so that's I think that's a big part of it. But I also think that especially in the last 30 years, guys just make a lot of money, and when the game's time, when it's over, they don't have to do it anymore. They don't.
Yeah, very true.
You know, you see more of them now are headed toward being owners. They want to own teams. Jeter, A-Rod's tried. You're going to see more and more of that. I think Peyton Manning's going to eventually try to own a team.
Dude, it's the money that they've gotten over the course of the years that why you could just fucking be an owner and just kind of play your own brand of rotisserie baseball, so to speak.
I mean, listen, A-Rod just from baseball probably made close to $700 million in his career. He had 2 contracts, one with the Texas Rangers, which the Yankees took over, and then his second contract with the Yankees with $250 million each. And then he had the one contract or 2 before that. He probably made close to $600-700 million in his career, not counting endorsements and everything else.
Yeah, the guy's fucking made for life.
Yeah, so I mean, you're playing rarefied there. You go meet the right people. Next thing you know, you get a couple of hedge fund guys together, and you buy a baseball team. See, now the one guy I wish would run a baseball team would be A-Rod. I think A-Rod's one of the smartest baseball guys out there, and I would love to see that guy manage or run a team. I don't think he ever will. They hate him enough not to let him in, but
you don't think it'll happen even now?
I don't know. Anything's possible. There's so many teams that are probably going to have trouble over the next couple of years with all the COVID stuff that I could see him getting, a team. I don't know which team, off the top of my head, but I could see him getting in somehow. But I think it won't be easy for him. He didn't even get a smell on the Met job, on the Met ownership.
No, he didn't.
So again, I would love to see him do it, but we'll see how it plays out. But guys, Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom talking some sports music, hanging on there with you. Hope you guys have had a good week. It's been how's your week been, Jeff? I didn't get a chance to ask you at the start of the show. How was your week this week? Any
nothing major to report back, but I mean, I worked a lot because my boss is off and he's out sick. My other boss was in the hospital. I heard that he had COVID, then I heard he had pneumonia and COVID, so I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know how he's actually making out. I texted him the other day, but after the responses, I'll be like, we've touched base enough. when and if you come back is when and if we speak again.
Well,
but same usual shit.
I got you. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to get to a lot of football right now. I want to get into the playoffs, this past week's games, and we'll talk about the upcoming weekend. 6 games, Jeff, this past weekend. I'll run them down for you. We'll talk a little bit about. I got to watch parts of every single game. I didn't watch every minute of every game.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I did. I only got bits and pieces.
I was out a little bit early on Saturday. The dogs had to get their haircuts, and then so Why?
What? No, I said what? You take your dogs for haircuts?
Sure, they got to go out for haircuts, man. What do you cut your dog's hair?
My dog has no hair. It's a Boston Terrier.
Has hair. So my 2 dogs have hair, so they got to go. I have to drive like 45 minutes to the one person my wife trusts cutting their hair, and we went down there. So I missed the Bills Colts game, which is one of the better games of the weekend.
Those poor dogs.
Now I caught the end of it. Now here's the problem. Now Bills win, good win for the Bills. Colts, couple bad moves at the end. Not a surprise. Again, I would say the only came out of it for me when I watched the highlights. The Bills are going to be a tough out, and they have a tough game this week with the Ravens.
Listen, I hope the Bills make it and go as far as they possibly can.
Yeah, so do I. I have no problem with that. I agree with. I would agree with you. I would be just as happy if they went to the Super Bowl in the AFC. But let's run it down a little bit. So the Bills win. We all picked the Bills last week. No major surprises. I thought the Colts played okay. Couple bad coaching decisions late in the game. A fumble review cost them a timeout that they probably needed toward the end of the game. But the Colts go out there and win. Good job but I'm sorry, Bills get the win. Next game was the Seahawks-Rams, which I got to watch a good bit of that game.
Seahawks were flat.
Seahawks were flat. Now, here's the thing. Now, Jeff, from your point of view, great trade. If you're the Seahawks, you gave away 2 number 1 picks for Jamal Adams. You sold your soul a little bit, and you get knocked out. You get knocked out by a team you probably should have beat. Let's think about it this way: John Wolford, who's the backup, who nobody's ever heard of, to Goff, gets to start over Goff. Gets knocked out in the first quarter. Goff comes in throwing ducks, and they still lose. The Seahawks still lose.
Yeah, they did lose, but you know what? For what Jamal Adams did in the 11 games this year for the Seahawks was big. Set an NFL record for most sacks by a defensive back. Was a solid player for the amount of time he spent on the field. As far as the Rams go, Goff was like 12 days or 10 days away removed from thumb surgery on his throwing hand.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, the center is putting the ball right up against that thumb however many times a game that he's playing, that he's on the center. And, he wanted to play, and, well, he got his chance, and, he made the best of it.
Yeah, now he's going to start this week, and we'll get to this week's games in a few minutes. But, Jeff, I have to tell you, that's a bad loss. If you're Seattle, you lose at home. Now, I know there's no people in the stadium, Jeff, but you're Seattle. You can't lose to the Rams at home after winning the division with a backup quarterback who nobody's heard of. The guy's like 5 foot tall. And then he gets knocked out. You get Goff, who's, like you said, 10, 12 days off for surgery, and you can't put points up against a defense that's been suspect the last few weeks, and an offense that can't score. That's a bad loss for Wilson and Carroll. And I got to be honest with you, their legacy is starting to take a couple dings.
It's hard to say no, but listen, it happens, and it is the playoffs, and a lot of strange things happen in the playoffs.
No, I agree, but again, there's a game. I think we all picked the Seahawks, and Rams stuck in and took that game. Never thought it would happen. Rams come back this week. They get the Packers up in Green Bay. That's going to be an interesting game. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
Who the Rams are playing the Packers?
Yes.
I would have to say that I'd go with the Packers.
We'll get to the pick a little bit. Let's get to that. I want to get to the third game, which was the Bucs and Redskins at night. Now that was a good football game, and surprisingly, a really good performance by the Redskins. I don't know how much you saw of the game, but their quarterback Taylor Heineke,
Heinicke.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. He played really well.
He played a real good game, man.
Yeah, he was single-handedly kept them in the game. Their defense was not good. Brady, I got to tell you, it's two different Bradys, Jeff. Not only I understand the fact that he's got better talent around him, but he just looks like he's throwing the football better. Last year he looked old and tired. He's throwing the ball really well, and again, a good win by the Bucs on the road. Again, there's other teams I think would have given a better performance against them. And they have a tough matchup this week now going to New Orleans. But good job by Brady to get to round 2, and he's only 2 steps from a Super. Imagine Tom Brady getting to a Super Bowl in Tampa, in his home stadium, first quarterback to ever do it. After Bill gets sent home, no division title. Boy, Tom Brady's got to be smiling his ass off.
Dude, I hope every play he takes a helmet to the knee. Every time he drops back, I hope he gets a helmet to the knee.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. But listen,
that's how much I hate him.
We'll get to this week's game. But a good job by the Bucs. I thought they played well. They could have. They should not. Here's the problem now. It's exposed their defense. So right now, if I'm the Saints, I'm salivating because you let this kid Taylor Heineke run wild out there.
Which he did.
Yeah, and to me, you had no answer to keep him in the pocket. You had no answer for him throwing the football. Too many points on the board. So if I'm Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, I got to go out there. We got to score big points. and we gotta hope that Drew Brees and Sean Payton kind of turn back the clock for the last couple of years with their performances in the playoff. But let's move on to Sunday games. First one was Ravens Titans. This had to be one of the most boringest games until the second game of the day. Everybody raved about Lamar Jackson, Jeff. I don't know if you saw the game, and I'll tell you,
saw parts of it.
The guy flat out can run. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. But call him a running back. You should make this a single wing where the tailback is the quarterback, and 90% of the time he runs the football. Yes, the guy's dangerous with his legs, but he can't throw. He threw one pass down the sideline. It had to be one of the worst throws I've ever seen, picked off. I mean, from that point on, I don't think he threw a pass that was more than 5 yards down the field. The guy is a terrible quarterback who can run, Jeff. A weapon, no doubt, but I will not call this guy a great quarterback. Nobody's telling me he's elite.
I'm not a big fan of him, man, to tell you the truth. I'm really not.
Yeah. And, here's the problem that he faced a terrible defense. Going in, the big knock on the Titans was their defense has just been terrible. They can't get to the quarterback. They can't stop the run. And they lived up to it. They couldn't do shit. And then their offense, what's his name? I'll tell you, I made a bet. I belong to DraftKings. So there was one of these special promotion bets where you bet $10, and you can win 50. And the bet was simple. Derrick Henry has to get more than 22.5 yards for the game. That's it. It's a sucker bet, you think, right? I mean, come on. Derrick Henry's been running for 200 yards a week.
Yeah.
I make the bet. I'm sweating in the third quarter. The guy's got 20 yards.
How many yards did he have?
I think he wound up with 40. But in the third quarter, he started the third quarter, he had 18 yards for the game.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking first quarter, third play of the game, he's got 25 yards.
Yeah.
I'm sweating it. So they couldn't run the ball. Tannehill started out great, disappeared. Big disappointment for the Titans. I thought the Titans did nothing. And if they could have played any sort of defense and kept him in the pocket, and that's why people are loving Lamar Jackson. If I'm the Bills, I'm backing up the Brinks truck. I'm putting 8 guys up there. He's throwing the football to beat me, and if he doesn't, hey, good power to him. But there's no way I'm letting that guy run around out there. So that was a pretty bad game. The Saints-Bears. I don't know if you saw that one, but that was
kind of boring. That was not fun.
I mean, I think it was like late in the second quarter. It was like 7-0 or 10-0. What a bad.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a very exciting game. No.
Holy cow! Neither team could score points. I mean, the Saints wound up putting some. I think they won 20-something to 7.
21-7. I think it was 21-7, 22-7, something like that.
I'm sitting there saying to myself, Jeff, if the Saints had played anybody with any sort of ability, they could have got knocked out in the first round again.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it was a very interesting weekend. And then I'll give you the last one with Steelers Browns. Again, we talked about it early. A lot of points early for a lot of mistakes and a lot of points for the Browns early. And Steelers came out flat. And I talking to my boy John.
That way.
Yeah, and that's the knock and the problem. And I think that's the new thing now, Jeff, in the league seems to be everybody wants the rah-rah coach. I listened to the fan all day, and the Jeff fans are on, Robert Saleh, the guy goes crazy on the sideline. Gase had no emotion, neither did Todd Bowles. Look at Rex. Rex was a rah-rah guy, and we were good. Everybody wants the rah-rah guy. Everybody wants the guy firing brimstone. You know what? Give me the good coach. Tomlin's a good coach. He's not a rah-rah guy. But let me tell you something. You got to take a hit the way they came out of that game. They came out, there was no fire. They made mistakes everywhere. And before you knew it, I'm telling you, it was 10 minutes in, 12 minutes into the game. It felt like it was 30-0. It was 28-0 already.
Yeah. It was, but listen, we are, like I said before several times, we are friends. They do nothing but complain.
Oh, yeah.
About Mike Tomlin. And I do not understand it because we said earlier, every year the guy is on the doorstep of the Super Bowl almost every year. You know, like last year they had problems with Roethlisberger, who was injured. This year they made the playoffs but didn't go very far. They kind of collapsed at the end of the second half of the season. But listen, it is what it is. You know, they've been a good team for a long time, but I think their day has come. I think they're done.
Yeah, no, I won't argue it. It's very possible. The other one, just did you flip over to the Nickelodeon broadcast at all?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I did. A lot of like cartoonish stuff, and the announcer was a young guy, Noah Eagle, who's Iron Eagles. His dad is a big play-by-play guy. Again, I was listening the next morning, and a couple of the radio guys were blasting it, and they're like, "Who wants to listen to this?" And this is childish, and that's what it's made for. They wanted to get the kids to sit in front of the TV, and one of the ways they were going to do it was this sliming and all these character things. It was cute, but I wasn't going to sit and watch it. But I got to say, if you're a guy and your kids are in the room and they want to watch something on TV, it kind of it gives you a little bit.
It helps you watch the football game, and it gives them something to do, so they're entertained and
exactly,
whatever. Like what they put like stupid noises on things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then at the end of the game, what's his name? Sean Payton got slimed. They dropped the bucket of slime on him, and
that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Again, if that was the only broadcast, if that was the only way to watch the game, I'd have been pissed off. Like, that's annoying. But you turn on this, just go to Channel 2. CBS had the game on. Watch the game on CBS, and don't worry about the Nickelodeon one.
Well, Nickelodeon kind of says it all, no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But again, guys, Jeff and Tom here talking sports and music. We got a lot more to get to. Let's get to this week's game. Now, let me ask you before we get off the other ones. Now, having looked back, was 6 games in a day too much?
Well, it was 3 games.
2 days.
6 games in a weekend.
Games in 2 days.
No, I don't think so.
Too much?
I don't think so, because you got to realize, like you said, you were out for a while. I was out for a while. So by the time I came back home and realized the game was on, you put it on, you see a little bit of it. And, it took the place of college football, which is starting to transition over to college basketball. And so, no, I don't think that it was a bad thing. I think it's better than if they said, okay, we're going to put a game on Monday night and a game on Friday night.
I was just going to ask you that. Would it have been better to space it out so people can get more people to watch the games, and say play one Friday and play 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, and 1 Monday night? Would that have been better?
I like the idea of a Friday night game more so than a Monday night game.
Yeah,
for playoffs, because you're off the next day. Like you can come home, you can unwind, you can watch it. That would be cool, a Friday night game. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I just thought, and again, as a guy who's a football fan, and I really wanted to watch as much of it as I could. It was a lot to watch. I watched football from noon until probably 9:30 at night on Sunday, and Saturday I listened to the game in the car, pretty much from 2:00 till I got home at 4:30 or 4:00. And I watched right till the end of the third game. So, I watched a ton of football, but I would have loved to have watched one game on Friday and had a little less to watch on Saturday and Sunday. So I'll agree with you. I would have spaced it out just to Friday. Monday night game might not have been good for a playoff game.
No, not for a playoff game.
Yeah.
Not for a playoff game.
Yeah, and just on an overall, I didn't think it would. I would say the best game of the weekend was probably, I'll say the Bucs Redskins was a good game because the kid quarterback made a nice job of it. Bills Colts was a good game. The rest of them weren't great football games. I got to be honest. How many of them could you say were great football games?
Oh, like you said, the Tampa Bay Washington game was a good game. I'll give you that much. The rest of them, no. Tennessee was boring. Chicago, New Orleans was boring.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh looked like it was over by halftime. Little did we know.
Yeah, little we know. Yeah.
So it is what it is. That game I didn't even bother to check back on because I had to get up for work. So I watched what I could, and then I was like, I'm tired. I'm just going to go to bed.
I didn't say anything, Jeff. At 9:30, I went to halftime, I think, or right before halftime, and I just said, I'm done. This game's over. And it was a little bit of a show in the second half, but not enough to keep me. I wasn't upset that I missed the game. But this week's games now, there's some good matchups. The highlight is probably the Sunday night game, but let's run through them real quick. First one being Packers Rams. I think that's Saturday up in the frozen tundra.
Is there call of snow by any chance?
You know,
I'd like to see snow.
I don't know. I didn't see. You know, I could do weather. Let's do weather in Green Bay. Let's see. Let's see if we can get that for you. We're in Green Bay. So Sunday or Saturday is rain and snow, 31 to 35 degrees, rain and snow on Saturday.
Oh, man. I think I'd rather play in the snow than play in the rain-snow mix in Green Bay.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, my God. Man, their fucking tallywhackers are going to be like this fucking big. They're going to get cold and then, oh, man. Oh,
Now,
God.
I think all men love to play a good game in the snow. If it's not too cold, you get that high 20s to low 30s and a nice whiff of the snow whiffing down on you. But yeah, you're right. When you get in that rain snow mix, it's freezing. It's just above. Oh man, that's a brutal way to play football.
That is a miserable fucking God knows how long.
Yeah. So, but the Rams get to go up to Green Bay on Saturday to play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And listen, the Packers are a great offense. The Rams defense is good. I think Aaron Donald's going to be healthy. He had a little bit of a rib injury this weekend, but says he's healthy. And listen, I think it comes down to can the Rams keep up with the Packers offense? I say no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I like the Packers in this game. I'm gonna tell you, going away, I think it's a 3-touchdown game or better by the time it's over. And I think I think the only chance they have would be to get to Rodgers and knock them out. Otherwise, this game's over at halftime.
Yeah, I got to agree.
Okay, so we're all taking the Packers in the early game. The next game will be Chiefs and Browns. I believe Bills and Ravens. Bills and Ravens is game 2 on Saturday. That's the 8th. Surprisingly, that's the 8:15 game on Saturday. You'd think the Packers would be the late game, but no, it's going to be Bills and Ravens. Now, this is an interesting game up in Buffalo. Again, I think they're talking about an interesting. You know that Lamar Jackson has never played a game in the snow in his entire life.
Yes, I know. I think he's only seen snow once in his entire life.
And the guys, I think he grew up in like Baltimore or something. He grew up in a city where I thought there was snow, but I got to look that up again. Tough game for the Bills, and I think both teams. The interesting matchup. Here's why I'm giving up to. I think the Bills are a complete team, Jeff. I think the Bills, top to bottom, are a more complete team, and I think they have the better quarterback. That's why I like the Bills. Semi-close, maybe 7 points or less.
I got to go with the Bills too. I'm actually pulling for the Bills. I want to see them win. I would love to see a Bills Chiefs. A Bills Browns would be something else too.
Wow, I gotta tell you the truth. All right, let's play this. If you're the NFL and CBS, who has the Super Bowl, what's the most attractive Super Bowl for you?
Well, I mean, not for nothing. It's got to have probably Brady versus Mahomes.
Yes, that would be the most attractive game out there. Yes,
but I want you to think of something. You got Baker Mayfield and his progressive commercials or whatever insurance he's working on there, and his commercials, and he has so many different ones, and just like putting him in these real life scenarios that'll just never happen. Him living in the stadium and stuff, dropping his keys, trying to get in, making him like a personable person.
Yeah.
I think that may want people to pull for Baker Mayfield because they're going to feel as though that's the guy they're rooting on. The guy that's, drops his keys and got to go make it back and forth in and out of that fucking car.
Yeah.
And get wanted at the fucking security thing. And shit.
I think that in the country would flip out. I mean, think about it. I mean, the Browns have never been in a Super Bowl, let alone, they've never been in a playoffs in 17 years, let alone getting into a Super Bowl.
And they win a game.
Yeah. Now, again, I think the key is who would be the matchup. I think if you're CBS, you can live with any of them. I mean, all three of them. You can live with the Packers getting in or the Saints. I mean, you're two of the biggest quarterbacks. Do you have 3 Hall of Famers if you go either one of those 3 teams?
Any NFC team except for the Rams, I think it's a win-win for the network. Yep. As far as the AFC goes, I think you got to narrow it down to Kansas. Well, actually, Kansas City and Cleveland and Buffalo is a close tie with Cleveland. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to see Buffalo get in. You know,
I think if you're a football fan, you love to see Buffalo get in because they're a complete team. But the average person out there, I would tell, I don't know. Like, if you're not a football fan, you probably know who Patrick Mahomes is because of because it's on the Super Bowl, two of his own commercials, and maybe you know who Baker is. But as far as the Ravens and the Bills go, the average person probably doesn't know anything about anybody on those teams.
No, but you know what? The Bills they haven't been in the Super Bowl for a while.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson getting pushed as what he can do with the football, running and throwing, mostly running. So people are going to know who he is. Although he's not the biggest name in the AFC, without a doubt. That's got to go Mahomes and Baker Mayfield, without a doubt.
For you, okay. What's the one game? What's the game you would go, oh man, I gotta watch this. This is going to be a great game. Like, what's the game? Not forget about the networks and the NFL. For Jeff, what's the game that would go, you know what? I'm going to watch. This is going to be a fun game.
Oh man, wow! I think Breeze versus Brady with the Saints and the Bucks is going to be a good one.
Okay.
Watching Mahomes in any game, I think is going to be an added bonus. I wouldn't mind watching that one. I actually think that they're all going to be kind of decent matchups. I think that we got a good second round going for ourselves.
I agree with you. The Packer game doesn't excite me because of the Rams. But if it's Green Bay and it's a shitty day out, that's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I'm in that game, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I tell my equipment manager, like, listen, I want minimum of a change of shit on the sidelines. I want like 10 uniforms warmed up and ready to go. I'm going right in the fucking protocol tent, getting changed. Fuck you, man. I don't care.
There you go. So I like the Bills in the second game. I think you do too. We're both going with the Bills.
Yeah, I could still go for them. Yeah.
Let's go to Sunday games. The early Sunday games, surprisingly for me, the Super Bowl champs are not the marquee matchup. It's Chiefs Browns, obviously in Kansas City. There's a different feel to this Kansas City team, though, Jeff. I know they went 14-2 or whatever it was this year, and he put up all sorts of great numbers. But this team doesn't feel like it's unbeatable like it did last year. To me, that team last year, you just felt like it couldn't be beat. He was just going to find a way to win. This team just seems different, and I'm not picking it here, but I don't know if I would pick the Chiefs to win it all right now. I don't think they're the best team in football.
I have my doubts about them winning it all. I agree with you. But I do think that it's going to be a good game and a fun one to watch. Listen, just watching Tyreek Hill is a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Watching the Chiefs on offense alone is a lot of fun.
Let me ask you a question. Do the Browns smell of that team that has maybe just has that juju for the year? Like they're not a great team, but they're finding a way to win games. They should never beat the Steelers. They did convincingly. I would not wake up on Monday morning shocked that the Browns won that game. I just wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be shocked either way what happens with the Browns, but I think the Browns are at a point now, I think that they're 2 years or so behind.
Yes.
And the Browns are the team that we thought they were going to be a year or so ago, whatever it was, 2 years ago.
I agree with that.
They're finally at that point now.
Yeah.
Now the phrase, they got to learn how to win, comes into play for me instead of the way that some people throw it around. I don't want to mention names about their favorite teams, but that's another story.
Hey, but Louis Pekin thinks that the Rams have a shot at an upset. I won't argue that because of their defense, because of Aaron Donald. I would not be shocked. I just don't think they got enough firepower to stay with the Packers. Rodgers was sick this year.
Listen, they already had an upset when they beat Seattle.
True.
That's one thing. Two, this is the playoffs. Anything happens in the playoffs. We've seen wild card teams at 9-7 win the Super Bowl. So why not? They weren't a horrible team. They weren't a team that barely made it in.
Yep.
You know, that they came in. They weren't a team that needed 3 other teams to do something in order for them to fucking get in.
Yeah.
So, you know, why I don't think it's going to happen. I think at this point in time, every team in the playoffs has a shot at an upset. So I could go along with that. Yeah.
Okay, it's fair. It's a fair point. Now the big matchup, the game that's Sunday night at 6:40. To me, I think most people will be watching this one. Saints Bucks, just because of the 2 quarterbacks. Now, yeah,
these 2 have never met in the playoffs before.
That's true. They have not met in the playoffs before. They have not met in the Super Bowl. So this is a big matchup. It's the 3rd one this year, I believe. The Bucks have won both of matchups this year, so. You know, Brady's got to find something. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in a year, Jeff. We all know that. You know, I think that this is going to be – it should be a good football game. I don't know if – I think 2-3 weeks ago, I told you I think the Bucks were a better team. I think right now the Bucks defense is shit. You saw it the Saturday night against the Redskins. So I'm picking Brady because I hate Breeze. You know, he can put his Jacob Blake thing on his helmet and run around all he wants. But I'll take Brady to win. But I'm not. I will tell you that I'm expecting the Saints to win this game, and maybe pretty handily. I'm not a big fan of the way the Bucks are playing defense. Tom's got to go out there and match up and throw for throw. And you know,
I almost wish that Belichick was in the playoffs this year for a couple different reasons. Actually, one, you know, the potential matchup against Brady, but also for him turning down the medal from the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have seen what would have happened if he was in the playoffs and had done that. Would he have gotten booed all over the place because of that move?
Well, that's listen. Well, again, luckily for him, maybe not. No fans, very few fans, or no fans in the stands, depending on where you're playing. So, yeah, listen, that was an interesting move. I'm not surprised by it. I think everybody's ducking and running right now, which is a shame, but whatever, you know. But I'm surprised, more surprised that he was offered the medal because of all that's going on right now. Now, maybe it was done a while back before this stuff went on, and you know now he just turned it down because you know everything happened. But listen, I like to see Belichick in the playoffs because the guy's a great coach, and you can always be surprised by something he's going to pull out of some sort of magic in the hat. This is going to be a good football game, at least for a half or better. It could get ugly if the Bucks can't find a way to keep him off the field. Todd Bowles, this is probably Todd Bowles' chance to get a head coaching job. If he goes out there and finds a way to slow down Drew Brees and they win this game, Todd Bowles will get a job as a head coach. If he does,
I think he'd have to do it convincingly.
No, I don't think he needs to be convincing. I think he just needs to, he needs to win, and he needs to keep them to 3 touchdowns. If the Saints go out there and hang 40 points on the Bucks, Todd Bowles is not getting a head coaching job.
Yeah, but if Todd Bowles wins that game 24-21, I don't think that makes a difference for him.
No, I think to a certain extent it does, Jeff. I think he's listen, you're a defensive coach. If you go out there and you've had a questionable year this year, and then you go into the playoffs and get a big number hung on you, I don't think anybody's giving you a chance to take home a job. If he goes out there and it's impressive, I think he gets a chance to get a head coaching job. That's how
you know what else he has it going against him for that? What? Breeze and his cracked ribs. All they're going to turn around. Well, was Breeze that bad? Was the Bucks that good? Or was Breeze still injured?
No, it's a great point. It really is a good point because it was mentioned during the week of that, and I say, screw it. Here's the thing. If you play in the game, I don't want to hear that you had a problem. If you had a problem, don't play. If you play, the excuses go out the window, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with your point. Yes, some people will, if the Saints don't play well, especially if he gets hit a couple times.
I mean, listen, what are you going to put Jameis Winston in the playoffs? You got to start Drew Brees.
Oh, listen, half of Drew Brees is better than Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. So yeah,
and Daniel Jones.
Huh? I heard you.
What I said?
Yeah, I heard you, jerk off. I heard
What I
you.
said?
Go fuck yourself. You leave fucking Daniel Jones alone.
Oh.
Yeah, fucking dick. All right, so that's
Danny Boy.
who you picking? Who you picking?
In what game?
Saints, Bucks.
Oh, Saints.
Biggs, what do you think? Is it over at halftime? Is it a close game at the end? Are we hanging?
It's going to be close to the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be less than 10, and I think that a game-winning or game-tying drive could happen in the last moments.
Okay.
I don't think this one is going to be over until there's no time on the clock.
So last team with the ball in their hand wins the game.
Well, maybe it ends that way, but I think that it ends during a drive. Whether it's a successful one or not, I don't know.
So it could be the Bucks driving for a tying field goal, touchdown, and get stopped and the game's over. So type of thing.
Could be they run out of time, whatever.
Listen, it's possible. I won't argue that point. It's good. Listen, I think for sheer volume, last weekend was a ton of fun. I don't think the games are great. This week has a potential to have 4 really good football games. Okay, I think that's the key. I think the Browns Chiefs might want to be in a good matchup. I think the Browns, while I'm not a big fan of the team, see, back in the day, I used to be a big Browns fan. Brian Sipe, like that whole team was just a fun team. Ozzie Newsome.
I remember those teams years ago. Yeah, it was a different situation.
Yeah, they were a fun team to watch. I mean, they sucked for the most part, but they were kind of fun. Bernie Kosar and not Byers. How was his name?
Pruitt.
Well, he had Greg Pruitt. That's right. Greg Pruitt played for them. What was the running back who dropped the ball? Ernest Biner. That's it. Ernest Biner fumbled the ball and going into the end zone to win that game. But those were fun Brown teams. This one, Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield, they're unlikable.
Well, you're not a Baker fan, man.
I'm not.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah. He makes some funny commercials and.
No, I agree with you there. I have to agree with you there. I think his commercials are hysterical. I do. I think his commercials are funny.
Come on, you start at the top. I'll start at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them are just out and out funny. So I'll agree with you there. I think the guy does a good job there. They're better than the State Farm commercials with Rodgers and those suck.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And the Baker one actually is pretty funny. So I'll give him that much. He does do a good commercial. So he does better at commercials than quarterbacking, that's for sure.
Baker?
Yes.
Oh, let's see what happens. Here's his moment to change that.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into some music stuff, I want to talk a little bit about your beloved New York Football Jets.
Okay.
And the guy they're going to hire to run that team.
Okay.
When the Jets hire Doug Peterson, I'm buying you a big Jet visor hat.
First of all, it's not going to happen.
They're going to get Doug Peterson. Watch. I'm telling you.
Not going to happen.
I'm going to get you a visor. It's going to have Jets on it. And behind the visor are going to be lights that just blink. So all you're going to see is Jets in green blinking, and you have to wear it. Doug Peterson, if there's a God, I'm talking to God right now. Give me a second. God, I've endured some bad football seasons, and I've endured some crazy stuff this year. Please grant me Doug Peterson being the coach of the New York Jets. Please. It would really make my day if Doug Peterson.
Listen, Super Bowl winning coach that did it with a young quarterback.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would welcome him. Welcome him.
I'll pick him up at the airport and drive him to the stadium.
And you know what? I'll tell you what else. Not only that, get us Carson Wentz.
Oh.
Might as well.
Oh my God, it's great. Yes. I hope that would be the best if they brought Doug Peterson in and he somehow got like bionic legs and arms for Carson Wentz and he dragged him up here and he was all sewn together. Oh yeah. Yeah, Lou, you're right, Lou. Absolutely. That would be the greatest thing ever. So every Sunday I can hear Jeff Curson.
I just said that, so
he could be out. He could be out for like half the season. You'll have like you'll be bringing in.
Who they got now that's out for half the season?
Oh my God!
And they're talking about keeping him.
Oh, Doug Peterson will come out and then like
Sam Darnold. Sam
wears
Darnold averages like
visor.
3 games a fucking year.
His hat,
So
his
let's
visor
keep him.
goes upside down from the wind in the stadium.
Hey,
He's the most
listen.
overrated coach in football.
Listen, how many Super Bowl victories does he have?
1.
How many does Joe Judge got?
Why
As
why
head
does
coach?
it about Joe Judge? Why does this have to be about Joe Judge?
How many does he have as head coach, Joe Judge?
He has none yet.
Thank you.
It's
How many
okay.
does Gettleman have?
None yet.
Uh-huh.
As general manager, yes, they both have them, just not as head coach and general manager. But they will.
Okay.
I hope.
What does Gettleman have his as? Is what?
Well, he was. I don't know if he was director of scouting at that point, or if he was director of player personnel with the Giants. He won. He was with the Giants when the Coughlin years. Wait, Doug Peterson, New York. He'll have the press conference. His eyes will be bugging out of his head.
Yeah, I doubt that.
He'll have the eyes bugging out of his head with the visor on at the press conference. Doug, nobody wears visors. It's not 1970. Doug, get a hat.
Listen, whatever the man wants to win, or whatever he wants to wear, what he's doing is he's being successful.
Oh, how disgusting!
And let me ask you something. Lou Pika says hire Peterson.
Yeah.
Who is Peterson?
Well, I know who he's talking about. See, on this end of the thing, Lou, it's okay. We don't do spell checks around here. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. So you
Don't
don't even know who he's talking about. This guy.
No, he does.
Come on, he can't even spell the future Jet quarterback, Hall of Fame, soon to be Hall of Fame coach.
Soon to be Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
What, you digging up Vince Lombardi?
No, Jets, baby, Jets.
Hey,
You know it too, man. You know
Which
it.
one do you like? Take a look at the bottom of the screen. Do you like okay, now this is the normal way it goes. Do you like that? Do you like that? Or do you like that?
It doesn't matter because it's all false information anyway. So I don't really care which way you put it.
I'm just looking. That's all I want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. The stupid visor. Any team would hire a guy who wears a visor with his gray hair sticking out all over the place. You know, who puts in Nate Sudfeld in the fourth quarter of a game that means something.
Oh,
should never get a job in this league.
that's the bitch and fucking Giant fan of you.
Team-
If he just played the regular guys, we could have got it. You didn't get into playoffs. It's
He
over.
wanted to beat him up. His own team.
Oh, look at this fucking guy. I have COVID, so I spelled it wrong. That's great.
Oh man.
I have COVID, so I spelled it wrong. Oh, man, that's
Sports
awesome.
845. Jeff and Tom talking about it. Doug Peterson, soon to be the new Jets head coach. I'm calling it right here.
Go ahead.
I'm calling it right here. Oh,
Listen, the Jets could hire anybody, and you, as a Giant fan, would not acknowledge it as being the greatest hire in the NFL this year.
Whoa. First of all, I was big.
There we go. Here we go.
When the Jets hired Gase, I thought it was a good move. Now it turned to be a bad move. I'll be the first to admit I got it wrong. But I was happy for the Jets when they hired Gase. I thought Gase would be a good coach.
Dude, if the Giants hired Adam Gase instead of the Jets, I would have been happy for the Giants too. All right.
I'm praying, dear God in heaven, please let Louis get better from COVID real soon, and let the Jets hire Doug Peterson to be their head coach and bring Carson Wentz with him.
Well, listen, I will say, first of all, nobody should have to suffer through COVID. So here's hoping that Louis does rebound from COVID. I hope. Evidently, he lost his sense of taste if he's making fun of the Jets. That's never coming back. We'll just say that right now, okay? And the visor thing, if that's what the Jet coach wants to wear, so be it, man. He wears a visor.
No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You don't wear visors. Men don't wear visors. Girls who
evidently Peterson does.
Girls who play beach volleyball, they wear visors. Men don't wear visors.
Stop.
It's not permissible.
Stop.
The only reason that anybody should kneel in the NFL is if you see a guy with a visor, you kneel, turn your back to him. That's how bad that is. You don't wear visors in the NFL. It's disgusting.
Oh, stop.
Anyway.
Stop.
Why did you see the NFL may cancel the combine? I think the combine may be the single most overrated sporting event of all time. I can't think of no other than the Pro Bowl. I think the NFL Combine may be the most overrated thing ever.
Oh, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Okay, because sometimes this is how a possible draft pick could jump out at you. Somebody that maybe they weren't expecting or whatever. It just gives them a last moment to shine. But overall, putting them through any kind of rigors at that time, right before the draft, could be dangerous for them in the long run.
Let me tell you something. You take a guy and you put him in an air-conditioned dome on flat ground, perfect condition.
Well, let me. What the fuck are they supposed to do? Go running through the backwoods of West Virginia or something? I mean, come on. They play on a flat field in an air-conditioned building.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
Tom, it's time to it's a shot to measure the intangibles and shit. You know that.
Oh, intangible nothing. You don't get no intangibles in that kind of environment. It's the biggest.
Tom, who are we going to know who has an 11-inch hand?
That's true.
Who can fucking jump straight up in the air 33 inches and shit?
Who the guy with the tightest shorts showed off his package? That's the only thing you're picking.
You like that one, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite one. That's my favorite event. The who got the tightest package.
Who has the penis piercings?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, it's like the dumbest thing ever. I love football. And I love
keep going real quick. I got to get a drink real quick. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. So, yeah, you know what, guys? I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I've never been a big fan of the combine. I mean, you're giving guys a chance to run a straight line, 40 yards with, get set, shorts, tight shirts. Let's get in the proper stance. Get out of here. When does that come into play in a football field? Case in point, Tom Brady probably today still running his 40-yard dash in the combine, and people made fun of it. That's why he won 199th. And sure enough, there the guy's going, heading and trying to win his seventh title Super Bowl. But, I have no problem. Louis, how that guy still has a job, Matt Nagy. But, yeah, he also wears a visor. So any coach who wears a visor should be fired immediately. Upon entering the building, they should, when he shows up for work, his key don't work. He can't swipe in. He's been barred from the place until he gets rid of the hat. Visors are not for the football field. Women volleyball players, women beach volleyball players wear visors. Men coaching football teams should not be wearing visors. They also, like Louis' favorite coach, Sean McVay, they wear the hat where it's flat. You got to put a bend in the hat. I'm sorry. A whole generation has to learn bend the hat. No flat hats. I want Sean McVay. I want to jump through the screen at this Sean McVay. Or maybe it's that other idiot, Kingsbury. One of them guys do it all the time. I want to punch him in the face.
You're getting old.
Oh, my God.
You're getting old. Your team is getting old.
My team is bound.
Except for fucking what's his face.
My team is bound for greatness next year.
Please.
So the Jets, we've all agreed that Peterson will be coaching the Jets next year because this is exactly the move a Jet fan does not want. So exactly the move they're going to make. And yes, the Dallas Cowboy fans said the same thing about getting McCarthy. And guess what? Yes, and Sean Payton is a penis too. Yes, a major league penis. That guy's a jerk off. But
what is your problem there?
Sean Payton's always been a dick.
But why?
He's a dick. He has been, always will be. Sorry. And he was a Giant coach for a few years, so I should be.
There we go. Okay. And look where he left. He left, and he's doing better than any Giant coach ever has.
Let me tell you something. I was talking about this today, yesterday maybe. I was driving to work, and they were talking about who's a Super Bowl. Should Tom Flores be a Hall of Fame coach? And I said, you know what? He did win 2 Super Bowls, but I'm not warm. And then they brought up Sean Payton, and I said,
what is his record? His career record? Do you know what his career record is? Tom Flores.
10 seconds, if you want to give me a second to pull it up for you.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on.
You can see the smile form on my face already. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know where you're headed, but I'm gonna play the game anyway. So let's let's see. Let's go back because that's not giving me what I want. Yeah, Pro Football Reference. Okay, so Tom Flores as a player, I don't want to play. I want his coaching, rushing and receiving.
Coaching record, yeah.
I don't see it. It's not giving me his coaching record. Why? Coaching career. Okay, here we go. So Oakland from 79 to 87, 83 and 53.
Okay.
And then he went up to Seattle, went 14 and 34 in Seattle.
All right, so
overall record is 97 and 87 with 8 and 3 in the playoffs and 2 Super Bowls.
So he won 2 Super Bowls.
Go ahead.
Okay, was easily 10 games over 500 as a coach.
Correct.
And he's not in the Super Bowl yet.
Not in the Hall of Fame, no.
Not in the Hall of Fame yet. But you think
Go ahead.
that Eli, who won 2 Super Bowls on a wing and a prayer and was a 500 quarterback, deserves to get in as a quarterback?
What does that have to do with coaching?
Just answer the question, please.
Yes, Eli. In fact, I heard a rumor they were already fitting Eli for his jacket early. They want to make sure it fits perfectly when they get there.
Stop.
Eli is a Hall of Famer.
Okay, whatever.
First ballot.
First ballot Hall of Famer, huh?
Yes, no doubt, and no doubt first ballot. Like there's not even a question in my mind. Eli Manning will be in there standing next to Peyton in about 4 years.
Let me ask you something. What happens if it all of a sudden it gets to, okay, this is his final year of eligibility with the old timers committee. After this, that's it. He's done.
No, Eli Manning will be on his first. Won't even get near that. Question is, they brought up today, is Sean Payton a Hall of Fame coach?
No. With only 1 Super Bowl win, how could you not put Tom Flores in but put Sean Payton in?
I agree. I that's probably why I brought it up, because people have him as this guru. And again, listen, there's no doubt the guy's competitive every year. You got to remember, he lost a year for being banned from the game because of the
Bounty Gate.
The Bounty Gate scandal. Only one Super Bowl win with arguably top 3, top 5 quarterback of his generation. And you get one, not only one win, only one appearance. That's to me. Yeah. That to me is a. I'm not. To me, he's not an order. He's going to get in because they elect everybody. I think at this point, you and I are on the ballot this year.
Well, I think that's one way where Eli doesn't get in. By the way, because his coaching record is awful.
Eli's coaching record.
Mm-hmm.
Eli didn't ever coach, Jeff. He's
well, there's a reason for that, Tom, because he's awful, and he don't get into the Hall of Fame.
Eli, first ballot. A top 5 quarterback of his generation.
The only way that he's first ballot is if like Richard Todd, Ken O'Brien, Leon Washington, and Johnny Lamb Jones is on the fucking same ballot as him. And even then, he'll get the second most amount of votes behind Johnny Lamb Jones.
Let me tell you something. Eli's first ballot. They're fitting the jacket today. In fact, I think they're going to waive the requirement of waiting 5 years for Eli. I think they're going to waive the 5-year requirement to wait. That's what I heard. I'm not making this up. This is what people write. I'm just reporting on it.
Well, how did you do that?
I have that ability now.
Oh wow! Would you pay extra money for something?
No, just every time I go on, they add new stuff that you can do.
Oh, okay.
So I could actually put my own comments up. I could go, let's see, Jeff knows up there, and then I can take that and put that up there.
Can I put up COVID comments?
I don't know. You know what? I really don't know if you can or can't, to be honest with you. I don't know. I guess you can put up a comment, and I guess I can post it up.
Fuck. Well, that sucks.
Well, again, any week you want, you could take the reins of the show.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Stay there. Do what you need to do. Have all your fun. Because you know why? In the end, next year when my football team is like fucking 14-2.
No, I'll tell you this though. I have a lot of faith in Joe Douglas. I actually think the Jets are going to turn it around very quick.
60.
I believe the Jets will turn around quick after they hire and fire Doug Peterson. They'll be ready and primed to turn it right around. But it'll be 3 years before that happens.
We're gonna get the guy from Buffalo. That's who we're getting.
Oh man, no, you're not getting the guy from Buffalo. We are. You're getting Joe. You're getting Doug Peterson, recently fired by the Eagles. Another team he drove.
He would have been hired already. He would have been hired.
He was going uphill. He's going.
I'll tell you right now who we're not getting.
Who you're not getting?
As a matter of fact, nobody's getting him. Is going to be fucking Eric Bieniemy, man.
Wow, yeah. I don't know where Eric Bieniemy is going to wind up. That's a crazy.
I'll tell you where he's going to wind up. Right back where he is in fucking Kansas City.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
He's fucking cursed. This fucking guy.
I think he is, man. Holy cow! All the jobs are going to be gone before he gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I think the problem with Bieniemy is, Jeff? You know, he doesn't even. I don't think he even calls plays there. Andy Reid calls plays. You got Patrick Mahomes, so people are probably very leery of the fact. You know, yes, he's the offensive coordinator for maybe the best offense in the league, but what does he really do?
Well, he's the offensive coordinator just because, you know, the head coach is calling the plays. He's got to come up with something, this guy. Got to be doing something.
Well, that's the point, though. I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, is he coming up with a game plan, or is he coming up with a game plan with Andy Reid? How much input every week does Eric Bieniemy have? I'm not knocking the guy. I have no idea. You know, again, you get credit, you're the offensive coordinator, but Reid calls the plays, and Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. How much of his brilliance actually shows up every week?
I don't know, dude.
Good
question.
I think
Good
that's
question.
Yeah, I think there's something to that at a certain point. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to play out. I want to get a couple more things in before we call the night. I've really kind of gone through almost all. Oh man, I got to get this one in. I know you didn't hear the game. I think it was the Bear game. Whatever game Troy Aikman did. It was the Ram game. It was the Rams-Seahawks game. And in the middle of the game, they were talking about Aaron Donald. Now, I think Aaron Donald's the best football player in football right now. And Troy Aikman blurts out, you know, I played against Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor, and Aaron Donald's a better player than both of them. And I went, what? I actually stopped it, rewound it to hear it again. Troy Aikman's a moron. I think Aaron Donald's a great football player, and he may turn out to be someday to be the best that's ever played. I'm not going to sit here. He's better than both of those guys. LT's a Hall of Famer who changed the game. Don't blur out stupid stuff. To me, that's shit.
It's a shame that you're still holding on to the coattails
there we go.
of a player
that
went down the path of crack.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe if your team did crack, you'd win a game. You'd win a Super Bowl. My guy is so good, he could do crack and win a Super Bowl and an MVP.
So what? So what? Where is he now? Where's his legacy? On the fucking,
you visit every week.
Some last bathroom on the right-hand side. Damo's on the other side. He's on the other one, fucking puffing crack.
He's right now. You can visit his legacy every once a day up at Canton, Ohio, baby, in the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I'm just telling you.
There was only 3 other players in the Hall of Fame when his time came, and you know it.
The greatest player. Greatest player ever to lace him up.
Oh, stop. Please, stop. Stop.
Greatest player.
Stop.
The greatest player.
The guy single-handedly never won a game.
Oh, stop. You're not even funny now.
Single-handedly never won a game.
You're not even funny now.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Not even funny.
Just being honest, man. Just being honest.
Hey, what about So I read the only decent article in Blabbermouth this week was Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar gave a interview about I don't know, they're promoting something, and they were asked about a tribute to Eddie Van Halen. They said there's no doubt it's going to happen. I think it's a no-brainer. But what would be the right thing? Is it bringing a bunch of different guitar players and musicians in and let them do like an all-star jam? Is it the guys from Van Halen getting up on stage and then having a player or two or somebody come in? What would be a fitting tribute to Edward?
the same thing that they did for Freddie Mercury, which would be to have different bands come in and play Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gave a bunch of guys Queen songs and let them come and play some fucking Queen. You know, they have Metallica jamming with Tony Iommi and Extreme and everything else, going out and playing some Queen stuff. So, you know, you get some good guitar players, let people do their rendition of whatever Van Halen songs there is. Maybe let a member of Van Halen, a surviving member, jump in here and there and you know, play.
Well, the Freddie tribute, you know, those guys all played and they had different singers come in. You know, it was, you know, the three surviving. I think Deacon played in that. I'm almost positive.
Deacon, I don't remember what they did, but I know like Extreme played.
Yeah, but I mean,
Metallica played.
I watched it, and they had the three parts I remember vividly. One was, you know, Brian May and Taylor and John Deacon playing with George Michael. Then David Bowie and Annie Lennox did a song with them, and then
Under Pressure.
Yes, and a great version of it, an amazing version. And then somebody else jumped up with them as well. I think it was the guy from Extreme. But and you might be right, it might have been some bands too. But to me, that
I know there was some bands because Extreme did some songs. Metallica did Stone Cold Crazy.
Oh, okay.
There was a couple other bands. I just don't remember them all. I can't look them up right now.
I think that would be the best tribute. I think to me, if you had Alex and Wolfie and Michael, and then brought in some guitar players and singers, and you know, guys got the different play. You know, with singing with Dave singing and Sammy singing, I think would be a fitting tribute. They should do something. I mean, whether you do it during the COVID period where you kind of just get the bands up there and you televise it, or you wait it out and you get a big arena and you bring a bunch of people in. I hope they don't wait too long, because I think after a while the impetus for it fades a little bit. You know, the people's want of it kind of fades.
I don't know, because there isn't anything happening now.
No, nothing.
There's no concerts or anything happening now, so I think people would welcome it.
But I'm saying, like right now, if you took a bunch of musicians,
let me ask you something. A bigger question is, who would you get? Who would you take?
Wow.
Think of that. You want to make a tribute show. Who are you getting to tribute Eddie Van Halen?
Wow. I mean, wow, it's a really great question, because you can't bring in certain guitar players. Like you can't bring in Eric Clapton. You know, the style don't work. So is it based on the style? You'd have to go.
You got to be able to play the songs.
Right. I'm saying is you'd have to bring in guys like Satriani and Vai, Lynch, those kind of guys maybe. Who would I want to see is a great question, though. Who would you want to see playing Eddie Van Halen stuff with the rest of the original band? Let's say it's Michael, Dave singing, and Alex. Give me two or three guitar players besides Tony Gunn that you want to see up there playing?
Well, I at this point, instead of seeing guitar players come up and play, I think I would rather see bands come up and play. And maybe one band that I wouldn't mind seeing get back together would be David Lee Roth's old band, with Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette and Steve Vai, and have them do some Van Halen. That'd be pretty cool.
Wow, you know what? That's a really good one. Playing nothing but Van Halen tunes. That's actually a great. That would be great. Okay.
You know, maybe see. Does Dave do any Sammy Hagar stuff? Does Sammy do any Dave stuff?
They'd have to. You have to.
You know,
part of it, you'd have to do that. Like, that would be fun to watch. I don't think Dave could sing anybody's stuff, let alone his own.
I don't think Dave could sing in the shower.
Yeah, but I think it would be interesting to see that. I think that I think that would be fun, getting some bands. Like, I gotta be honest with you. You know what I think would be another one? Like seeing Kiss doing some of that stuff, because Kiss took them out on the road. You know, let's see. Now I don't know if Tommy Thayer can play Eddie's stuff, but I think it'd be.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the kind of stuff I would want to see. Maybe bands that they went out on the road with, people they went out with. I think that would be interesting. I would love to see the lineup for that. That would be interesting.
You know, you're liable to see certain players come and play this stuff.
Yeah.
but not actually play like the solos and shit like that. Just play parts of the songs up until the solos, because it may be almost impossible for some players to try to play that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I said you have it. Do you stick to guys who play that style, or do you kind of go to other names that just like, would it be cool to see Brian May show up and play an Eddie Van Halen tune? But could he play the Eddie style?
I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to. Maybe certain things.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to hear him try to play like "Ain't Talking About Love." That guitar's got such a great tone to it. I would love to see a Brian May play "Ain't Talking About Love," or maybe even "Running with the Devil."
Maybe "Running with the Devil." I don't know about "Ain't Talking About Love" for Brian May. That might not work out as planned.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think that's, to me, would be something that I would I like to see. But
I would. I'd like to see something, like something really cool. But all of the cool songs. Who's going to be able to play these cool songs? That's the thing. You want to make them do justice too.
Let's say COVID's still hanging around in the middle of spring. Let's say it's April, and they went and did like an outdoor concert. Not full, like, maybe in a stadium or someplace, or just an open air place. And they brought in a few hundred people and they broadcast it, through the internet or pay-per-view. And the lineup was a good lineup. I don't know what the lineup. Let's say you looked up and said, wow, it's a good lineup. Would that be something you would try to find a way to watch? Let's say it didn't cost you no money. I take the money aspect out of it. Would you find a way to watch it?
It depends on who was playing, to be honest with you. It would have to be. I look at certain players that you're not going to be able to duplicate what they can do. And Van Halen is definitely one of them. Yeah. Do you want to see somebody go up and half-ass Van Halen? And think of it that way. Do you want to see somebody play a Van Halen song without all the little it's bits that he puts in there, the little guitar screams, the little runs, the little licks? Is that what you want to see? That's like when we were talking for years about other people going out and playing Pantera stuff. I just don't think it would be a necessary tribute, a proper tribute.
Yeah,
that's a proper tribute.
Yeah, that's a really, but I would also said that when they went out and they were trying to do Freddie Mercury stuff, that it would have been terrible, because who's going to sing as good as Freddie Mercury? And I told you, I thought George Michael killed it that night. I thought David Bowie, who I'm not a fan of, and Annie Lennox really destroyed on that song. So I guess it's possible, but I think they have to do it. I would love to see them do it now, and I'll tell you why. Because I think people are so starved for things that if you took an arena or anything, and even if you didn't bring in fans, you just put the bands up there, and then you threw it out on the internet, or you threw it out there on cable or Netflix, I think people would be jonesing to watch something good like that right now.
It's possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the truth, dude. When Freddie Mercury died, you were asking bands to cover Queen songs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it was a little bit different. When now you're asking people to cover Van Halen songs, before you were replacing a vocalist.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're asking a guitar player to play some of this stuff, which is going to be really difficult. And I don't know if it's going to go over that big, because it's not going to be, think about that. That's what you got to think about. And I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's going to be, listen, I'm happy they're talking about it. That's the main thing. And then again, what kind of lineup you get, and is it all going to be Eddie's friends? Did Eddie have friends? I have no idea.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, who goes? And we'll find out. We're going to wrap this up in a minute.
I mean, are you talking about maybe the possibility of guys like Slash coming in and doing this?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect name right there. I think that's a perfect name there. I think that is a guy. I think that's a guy you would see that night. Absolutely.
Do you want to see Slash doing Van Halen?
Listen, I didn't want to hear Axl Rose doing AC/DC. I don't think I want to see Slash doing it either. I would like to, but again, here's the thing that I like, and I think that a lot of time gets me, is I love the different. I love when guys come into things that you don't normally see, and I don't know. I'm trying to look for a good example of it, but to me, it would be funny to watch Slash go up there with Michael Anthony and Dave or Sammy and Alex and play a tune. When I went to go see the Eddie Trunk thing a bunch of years ago, his 30 or 35th anniversary, they had a bunch of bands come in, and they had I think it was Bumblefoot and Mike Portnoy and Billy Sheen with a house band. Then they would have a bunch of singers and guitar players coming in, and they would jump in and play. Ace Frehley jumped in. Steve Jones from holy cow, I'm drawing a blank. I saw a whole bunch. No, not Warren. Trickster. But there had a whole bunch of different guitar. Ace Frehley jumped in. Peter Criss came in and played. Portnoy played. There was the Tishy, a whole bunch of different guitar players, bass players, all jumped up on stage and they all jammed playing different tunes. And it was a lot of fun. And to me, I would like that. I think that would be pretty cool.
It's possible. We'll see.
Yeah, I did.
We'll see. I mean, you'll probably see the guys from Metallica try something. Yeah, you'll see Slash. You'll probably see Steve Vai, like you said.
Yeah.
Some guys you're going to see. Are they going to pull it off? Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think it matters, though, Jeff. To be honest with you, I think at the end of the day, I don't think it matters if they play it well. I don't think it matters anything. I think it's more about guys going up there and telling their Eddie Van Halen story, paying tribute, playing some of his music. And I think that's more important than they actually go up there and nailing an Eddie Van Halen solo or grabbing all the little parts of the song that he does.
Oh, well, we will see what happens and what way it goes, I guess, within time. But just hope that it's a tastefully done show.
Yep, we'll see. It's going to be out there. But, guys, we're going to start to wrap this up tonight. I know Jeff's a little on the tired side. And
I got work tomorrow again.
So we're gonna wrap this up. But listen, big things for me tonight. The net trade, I don't like it. They better win. And Kyrie Irving and Harden are exactly the reason why I don't watch basketball anymore. Big games this weekend. I'll give it to you one more time. I think Jeff and I are pretty much lockstep again. We both like the Chiefs. We both like the Bills, the Packers. I like the Bucks, although I do expect the Saints to win, but Jeff likes the Saints. So
yeah, I'm hoping that the Saints kick ass on the Bucks.
We'll be throwing my usual bet up this weekend. I'm not sure. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet, but I will be throwing a few dollars up on the betting boards. So I hope you guys bet responsibly if you're going to bet at all. And a lot of football to watch and a lot of cool stuff coming up. Again, Freddie Ordine from the band Bands of Anew. Join Jeff and I next week for a guest. We haven't had too many guests lately. And, of course, we'll break down the NFL games and talk about the AFC, NFC championship conference championship games. It's another great weekend this weekend. 4 good games. And next week we'll break them down. We'll talk a little hockey. We'll catch up on some basketball. Maybe start talking a little baseball. And we got plenty of music stuff to get to, hopefully. But listen, guys, I'll wrap this up. Jeff, I'll give you the last words. Anything you want to end with?
It's that time of year where anything could happen, man. There's games that can happen that we'll be talking about for 30 years, and they could happen this weekend. So you never know. I mean, I saw people on Facebook still talking about the time that Buffalo blew the 35-3 lead. So anything could happen. And I remember watching that game. I remember the day that game was on. Yep. I did not watch it. I was going out with this girl, and we went to her grandfather's house for something. And I was like, wow, I wanted to see the game, but I saw the score, and I'm like, well, thank God that I'm not watching it. It looks like it sucks. And then all of a sudden, later on that night, I saw it. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding.
Yeah, that was Frank Reich was the quarterback, and they were down 35-3 to Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers, and a big comeback for the Buffalo Bills. One of the games I was watching, nearly gave up on, left the room, came back, and said, we'll watch a little bit more, and one of the best comebacks of all time. So listen, this weekend, games you can, like Jeff said, you can remember forever. Hopefully you guys will remember to come back here next week when we get to do this all over again. I want to remind everybody, I ordered about 25 shirts, Jeff. So I got some for us and some for our friends and family, and then we're probably going to give a few away. So we're going to come up with a contest, I think. I don't know
Yes.
what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a contest. We're not going to give them away, but I don't know if it's going to be trivia or something. They have to do something stupid or something's going to happen. But I'm going to leave it to you to decide how we're going to give the shirts away.
We will. I'll tell you what. When you tell me how many you're going to give away, how many you want to give away, what we'll do is we'll come up with a couple of trivia questions, some movies, music, sports, and we'll put people. I could already say that it's going to be a Spinal Tap, best of Spinal Tap.
I'm going to give you something that FAN used to do a thing up until a few years ago, where you had to answer 3 Super Bowl questions, and it would get harder and harder as it went, right? And if you answered 3 questions, you'd win a trip to the Super Bowl. They did it like every day, and they would give it for like a week. It was Mike and the Mad Joke were doing it. I think we should do that same thing. We'll have, let's say, 4 or 5 shirts, and we'll invite 3 or 4 or 5 people to come on the show, all one at a time, and we'll have a whole list of Super Bowl questions. And if they answer the questions correctly, they get the shirt. If they don't, they get zapped right off the air.
Oh, forever.
Not forever, but at least for that show.
Forever.
All right.
Forever.
So I think I'll figure out how. I think we're gonna have 3 or 4 shirts left over, and I one of us or both of us will put together a list of easy, medium, and super hard Super Bowl questions, and we'll give away the shirts based on that. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Or what we could do is just make a Jeopardy board.
Yeah.
In remembrance of Alex Trebek.
That's
about the Hard Rocket Sports Jeopardy.
That's not a bad one. Super Bowl. The winner of the game gets a shirt.
The guest has to be on live on the air.
Yes, absolutely.
And has to answer the 3 questions. Mm-hmm. There'll be 3 questions on the board which they have to answer, and they can start easy, medium, hard, whatever it is that they want to do, or we could just tell them whatever. Yeah, this is the easy one, and ask them the hard one, whatever.
Whatever. Usually what they would do would be the fun part was it was always, I think it was 3 questions. The first one was easy. The second one was a little harder, but not that hard. And the last one was usually like a voice thing. Like they would play a clip of a guy, let's say like Bart Starr. You wouldn't know who it is. You had to guess who the guy who made the statement was. And it was usually very difficult. But we can.
That'll work for me. That'll work. 3
questions, super very easy, hard, super hard. If you answer all the questions, you get the shirt. But you got to be on the air.
Then we got the bonus question,
which is,
guess what number I'm thinking.
Oh boy, here.
And if you get it, you win. If you don't get it, then you got to start from the beginning again.
Oh, well, this is what the shirt will look like. I think I've nailed it. I'm only hesitant because I haven't seen the finished product, but there will be a black shirt that looks like this, and we'll see. Nice. But yes, I think we're going to do that the week before the Super Bowl. I'm going to announce it. We're going to have a contest to win a shirt, and if whoever wants to play again, whether we do one guy at a time or a whole bunch of people and do something like that, you and I will talk, and we'll come up with a way to do it, and I'll do the research for the and they should do like, what fan are you? I'm a Bills fan. They would ask him a Bills question.
Let me ask you something. Are you going to have on the back of the shirt somewhere it should say Butt Cutlets and the Czar?
No, I'm not going to say Butt Cutlets and the Czar on the back of the shirts.
Why not?
It's not going to, because that has nothing to do with the show.
It does.
Here's what you can do. I'm going to obviously give you a couple of shirts. You can more than happy go put Butt Cutlets and the Czar on the back of your shirt.
I could just get a black magic marker and do that, or
That's
some
fine.
white out and do that.
There you go. That whatever.
Butt Cutlets and the Czar, man.
No, all that I played with, I played with the idea of trying to get a moose on the back of the shirt.
And you didn't accomplish it?
I did not accomplish it. I think I'm going to get these in and then take it to a local guy and have the moose put on there somehow.
Have the moose put on one sleeve.
Yeah, I want to get the moose on there somewhere. John, we just announced we're going to have a Super Bowl trivia contest here on the show. And the winner of each winner, if you answer at least three questions correctly, we're deciding on the manner, you will win a Hard Rocket Sports new T-shirt that looks like this is the new logo, John. I don't know if you've seen the new logo. I think I showed it to John. He's one of the first people, but we're going to give away a shirt. So John Marhefka, we'll take Jeff. Will take all the contestants.
Well, let's wait. I got to ask: is John going to enter the contest?
Oh, that's very
I
possible.
would like to know that. Is John? Are you looking to enter the contest? Joe Flynn, I know that you're going to enter the contest more than likely, but I got to say, if you want to enter the contest, we have to be able to verify that you have not bashed Mike Tomlin for 6 months.
John's out. If I show you my messenger, you know John's out of that.
I'm sure.
No, but, some big news coming from the boys, from everybody up at RFL Records. They got a big announcement coming. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet, so I won't. But we wish them good luck on Wednesday nights. I'll just tell you that much. And as soon as John's ready to let people know, we'll get it out there as well. But we're going to bring this show to a thank you, Joe. But yes, we're going to have the Super Bowl contest. We'll give out some shirts. Yeah, you have to come on the show and be a live. Jeff, this is going to be great. You're going to be Alex Trebek. You're going to be the guy reading the questions.
I'm going to wear a suit and everything, man.
Yeah, you have to get dressed up. You have to cut the beard, the whole bit.
I'm going to get a perm.
Yes, exactly. You should wear a visor like your head coach is going to have.
I don't have a head coach.
You have to wear a visor with the Jets with green lights.
Who's Mike Tomlin? Is this kid really serious asking this question?
I think we skip right past Joe on this.
Oh, you know what? Well, listen, you probably don't want to know, but somebody gave me some real cool stuff today.
Who gave you real cool stuff?
Some guys at work found some stuff, and they gave me some stuff.
Okay. Why would I want to know?
You know, out on Staten Island, they tagged the deer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when they tagged the deer, they put the tag on their ears so that they know that deer was neutered.
Yeah.
So they found a deer carcass today, and it was all gone, but they found the head and the tag. So I got a new deer skull, which is huge, a big one, massive one.
Hold on a
Probably
second.
Biggest one I got.
Hey, Joe, you can go on YouTube, Hard Rocket Sports, and the show's there. All of our shows are there. If you ever want to get it, you're more than welcome. If you need something special, let me know. Yeah, Jeff, finish.
And the ear tag, which I've never had the chance to get before, which was pretty cool. That in its own right is pretty cool.
How does it play into our contest for Super Bowl shirt?
I'm just bringing up something that happened. You always ask me how, what happens and stuff. So I tell you.
That's in the beginning of the show. At the end of the show, I don't care.
Well, you didn't ask me that in the beginning of the show. You asked me past the second half of the show.
This is the end of the show. At this point, I don't care how your week was. At the beginning of the show, I care how your week was.
Well, then I'll bring it back up to you next week.
And please do. At the beginning of the show, when I ask you next week, Jeff, how was your week?
But you didn't ask me how my week was in the beginning of the show.
It was sort of in the beginning.
No, it actually was past the halfway point of the show.
I don't think it was halfway. I think it was before halfway. But I will announce the big contest. We'll see how we'll get some contestants. And Jeff will play Mr. Jeff Trebek for that night. He'll read the.
I gotta get cards.
Oh yes, you have to have a whole bunch of these. That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
I will work on it together, and you'll be all ready, and we'll have different categories, and we'll have.
Am I going to have to wear bottoms?
No. In fact, you have to not wear bottoms. You have to just fishnets. With chaps with the ass cut out.
I'm sure that Alex did not wear that kind of stuff, man.
You don't know what's happening behind the podium, Jeff. You just never knew.
Well, you actually saw him standing there. It was a glass podium, Tom.
I never watched the show. I was too smart for my liking.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, guys, we're going to end this up today. Listen, guys, enjoy the football this weekend. Enjoy the weather while you can. Make sure you come back to the Hard Rocket Sports Show every Thursday night from 7 to 10. Be on the lookout for lots of great stuff coming up. Shirts and contests, and we'll have some fun with the Super Bowl. So get your applications into Jeff if you want to be part of the Hard Rocket Sports Show trivia contest to win a shirt. We can't give you.
And the big winner of the trivia contest is going to do a live show with us from Tommy's house, where his wife is going to make us chili.
Yeah, listen. Always
at a sleepover.
You guys certainly know everybody's Jeff. You're always welcome. But I hope you guys enjoy the games. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Come on back next Thursday night. Jeff and I will be back to do this all over again. Jeff, don't work too hard. And Jeff, final words? Anything?
No, man. No, just hoping for some good games this weekend and looking forward to our big giveaway, and is hoping the Jets get their coaching next week at this time. We're talking about a Jets coach.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to. I think it's gonna happen. But all right, guys, keep your ears open for the Doug Peterson press conference for the Jets. In the meantime, start buying your visors. If you're a Jet fan, start buying a visor. All right.
I hope that they sign on him as the Giants sign him as offensive coordinator. That'd be fucking great.
So for Jeff Tolwinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, I'd say have a good night, a great weekend, and we'll see you back here right back here next Thursday night, right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Show. Have a
later, my friend.
Later, brother. Have a good night.
Be good.